Hey, my Liberian people, how are you doing this afternoon? It's another beautiful day. Let me just check my phone here, making sure the feedback is coming in properly. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. It's another beautiful day. We have a lot to talk about here. What is trending on social media? Some of these things should be avoided, but because of the gullibility of some of our people, we are forced to address it because if we don't, people will behave as though that this is God's gospel. Let me see. All right. Some of our people. Okay, so the fee is coming in. Okay, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Let's talk Liberia. Another beautiful day out here. This feedback thing, man. I think I've gotten rid of it, but we'll see again today. My fingers are crossed. I have to test it out. I tested it out by myself, but the guys have to come into the feed and let's see what it does. And then we'll go from there. You're welcome to the show, man. From wherever you may be coming in from. Today is the 12th of August 2026. It's actually my anniversary today. Big shout out to my wife for spending all these years with me through the downs and lows. 25 years, man, still rocking it. Hey, man, honey, I want to say happy anniversary to you. Hopefully, when more people come here, I will share your anniversary again. And I want to welcome everybody, man. You come. Let's talk Liberia. We're going to talk Liberia no matter what. Now, Bama, welcome to the show, Rose Horace. How are you doing? How are Evelyn Golaka? You're absolutely right. Share the show. Alfred Zebue, how you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show. Thanks for popping in here. My brother Momo M. Salamani. Thank you, Kona Goto. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. That's for the wife, not for me. She don't put up with me. Dwana. Ice Gorome, Senegalia. Thanks for popping around here. Jonathan call on everybody, man. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. We're going to talk Liberia today. So many stuff in the country. We are forced to address them because some of them are very dangerous. Not because we want to address them, but because we have to address them. Because if we don't and we allow it to fester, this is how we harmed each other yesterday. This is how we killed each other yesterday over disagreements that we did not fully understand. We cannot continue like this. We must not continue like this. We can have our political bickering, we can have our disagreements, but when we try to infuse religion unnecessarily in order to stoke certain sentiments in the country that some people believe it's going to give them an advantage because you stoke religious bigotry and that's going to help you, we say this is not what we want in our Liberia. We follow war, stupid war, but we branded each other in ways that I cannot fully describe here. And everybody understands exactly what I'm talking about. We got to stop this nonsense. We can talk about the political angles, we can talk about the disagreements, and we can go back and forth. Nothing is personal. I know some people take it personal because they believe they were born with government job in their pocket. The likes of Edwin Snow, for example, he believes he always has to be in government. The likes of former Vice President Jewel Howard Taylor, who always believes she has to be in government. They must continuously suckle at the bosom of Mama Liberia before the Uno bow the land it can work. This country will no longer be at the beck and call of vainglorious men and women who've added literally nothing to the country, but they just always want to suckle at the bosom of Liberia because that man wants supposed to be in government enjoying. So I'm going to do everything. I'm going to say this to former Senator of Bowman County. Stop the stoking of religious sentiment bigotry in order to foment chaos in our country because you're not getting your way. Everybody understand what Minister Sano said. We're going to cover a portion of that here today because we have to. Because if we don't, people will take that as gospel and they carry their lives to our brothers on the other side. I know I only know a few people in the country. I don't know them personally, but I don't know anybody in the country who does not have family member on both sides of the religious divide. We need to stop this nonsense. We are one people. Again, Victoria K. Falconian, welcome to the show, man. How you doing, Sylvester Wisa? My brother Alakakata, Amagimi County, welcome to the show. B. Seyon Latte, welcome to the show, man. How's everything, my brother Emmanuel Jackson out of Boston, Massachusetts? Welcome to the show. And thank you for popping in here to our people from across the country. Across the country. We say you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. A special one from Cole. Let's enjoy ourselves a little bit. And when the progressives tell you they were the only people that did this or did that, that is not true. Listen, a little rendition put together by Cole. Formula.
Be informed, be ethical, serve your country. A nation is not built by spectators, it is built by citizens. Citizens who understand that freedom carries responsibility, that liberty demands character, and that a republic survives only when its people choose duty over comfort. So today we remember the examples that came before us. Be a peacemaker like Suat Koko, who understood that strength is not always the sword. Sometimes it is the wisdom to prevent the sword from being drawn. Be stoic like Arthur Barclay, steady when the storms came, calm when the nation needed clarity. Be wise like King Momulu, who governed with patience and judgment, knowing wisdom is the compass of a people. Keep your word like King Bosway, because a country cannot stand if the word of his people means nothing. Preserve the land for Africa like King Kita, who understood our land and not merely soil. It is inheritance, it is defended, it is the future of generations yet unborn. Fighting justice like Joseph Jenkins Roberts, who stood against the slave trade and defended the dignity of Africans in a hostile world. Oh, be like William Tamba, who refused to stand silent while human beings were bought and sold. Freedom survives because someone chooses to resist. Be innovative like Daniel Bachawana, a son of recaptured Africans, born in Baltimore, Maryland, who came to Liberia at 9 years old. A boy who worked with the crew boys on ships, learning the craft of shipbuilding with his own hands. When the world tried to choke Liberia with a trade embargo, when powerful nations attempted to isolate a young republic, then you wonder did not surrender. Build ships for economic sovereignty, so Liberia could trade, so Liberia could stand, so Liberia could breathe, so Liberia.
For Liberia to breathe, we must breathe life into Liberia. The building of a nation is not a spectator sport. You must get involved. All of us must get involved. For a very long time, I always say I'm not a government person. I changed my mind now because we can no longer stand on the sideline and believe this country is going to fix itself. I think it was Plato who said this. The penalty that good men pay for not getting involved in the politics of their time is that they are going to be led by lesser men. I refuse to be led by lesser men going forward. We all got to get involved. Liberia must develop, and anybody who's trying to smear this country in a bad light, we say woe unto you. This country is going to develop. It doesn't matter how you spin it. We will develop as a society, and we are on this path. And President Bouaka, look, I'm so grateful that we have this president at the helm of power, because he understands the conditions that face Liberia, but most especially, he understands how to find solutions to those very problems, the vexing problems that are continuing to bog this country down. I want to continue to welcome you guys. Let's listen to the president briefly.
Probably people don't think that there are problems elsewhere, that the beauty they see around them, the comfort those people enjoy, were out of our labor. And everything that is required to make life is right here, and even in abundance. But sometimes again we, in our national anthem, we say with God above our right, rule over or prevail. Maybe we just say it in passing, but you cannot prevail without effort. And sometimes again, I remember when I was in government, we had poverty reduction strategy. And I always say to myself, when I took English, they say poor, poorer, poorest. If you want to reduce poverty, you come from poorest to poorer. Do you want to be poor? You stay poor. So sometimes we are very difficult, and we don't want to accept the fact that we can challenge ourselves and say that we want to be able to move ourselves to say we want to be rich. We want to be rich. We want to start with reducing poverty. You reduce poverty, where do you want to go? You want to be poorer or poor? Poverty is poverty. I don't care where you put it.
Poverty is poverty, and we must find a way to eradicate poverty from our society. And President Bwaka says something that some of you may have missed. He says everything that we need to literally become what we want to become is right here in Liberia. And I have absolutely no doubt about that. We have everything in Liberia. The question now is, how we going to capture what we do have? I want to welcome my sister Glendy Engineers is here. How are you doing, Sir Blama? Welcome to the show, man. We're going to talk Liberia. Otis Kwate, welcome to the show. Mohammed Kamara, how you doing, my brother? How's everything with you? Alexander Cody, welcome to the show. Judy Baryu, welcome. Eli Hulk. Everybody, man, from record. Look, I was listening to a bunch of seditions on social media. They were making fun out of Mo Ali. And I want to put this in the context before I play the video. They say Mo Ali said the water provision, the clean water, pipe-borne water supply to the country since 2004, he has taken it from 5% to 9%. That all they may not do 9%, they may say next year before it reached to 10%. And they all over Mo has not done nothing at 10%, but they ain't happy for. I want Liberian people to listen to me, and I hope the radio stations are on. You're listening to me very well. From 2023, from 2003 to 2026, let's carry to 2024. That's 21 years. Listen to me, from 2003 to 2024, that's 21 years. After the war, we destroyed everything in the country. So from 2003, before Ellie came to power, that time we had Judy Bryan, and that time we had the interim government. That's 2003. We only have, from 2003 to 2024, we only have 5%. It took us 21 years for us to get pipe-borne water distribution across Monrovia to 5%. Now listen to me, that's 21 years. It took us 21 years to get pipe-borne water by only 5% of the population in 21 years. On 2 years, Mo Ali has taken water from 5% to 9%. Does anybody understand what they are saying when they say, oh, Mo Ali not doing nothing? Some people don't understand what I'm trying to say here. Maybe you don't understand it. From 2003, before Ellen came to power, that time that was Judy Bryan, they were doing interim government. For the last 21 years, we only gave 5% of our country's population, we only gave them pipe-borne water. In 21 years, we only were able to provide 5% of the population with pipe-borne water. In 2 years, Managing Director of Water and Sewer, Mohammed Ali, has taken pipe-borne water from 2024 to 2026. He has taken it to 9%, and he's looking to get it to 10% by next year. So that means Mo Ali alone, in the span of less than 3 years, is looking to take pipe-borne water by 5 percentage points when it took us 21 years before to get it to 5 percentage points. Then people saying, what did Mo not do? Mo, I can not do anything. 5% or anything that when you'll be celebrating. This is why sometimes when people say seditions are very slow, now I understand what they're talking about. They don't understand what they're saying. and they continue to spew garbage and say, oh, Mo has not done nothing. Y'all listen to Mo Ali when he was talking about this thing. This is the video they took and they cut and they carry around. Listen.
Mr. President and members of the cabinet, when we took over in 2024, our pipe-borne water supply to the population was a little over 5%. At the moment, pipe-borne water supply has increased to 9% of the population, and by next year we'll hit 10% as we are constructing water facilities in counties. We've completed Popolo and connecting homes. By the end of December, we would have completed.
Y'all listen here. In 21 years, we only gave 5% of the Liberian population pipe-borne water in 21 years. In 2 years, Mo has given approximately 5% more of the country's pipe-borne water. And somebody want to make fun of that. In fact, I love the way my brother Fagon put it. Let's listen to Fagon for a second. They're not small children government they're running here. That big people government. Fagon, how are your people?
They get their big mouth. Small children government and not big people government. This government and big people government. They're not Carrasco government. They're not Mamasi Kaba government. They're not Finapolo government. Small children. When they wear the slap big men in the ear. They're not government the government running yet. That's why you don't hear about red shortage, fuel shortage. No money in the bank. That people here. A big man. Something wrong with you? Small children government. 3 weeks to go to Zwedu. Big people government. 8 hours you in Zwedu. I challenge you to say that lie. From last year they took over January. They really see that kind of thing. We never saw it last year. We will not see it this year. And guess what? The yellow machines they ain't even touched down yet. Big people government. Big people government. So I can see some girls on Facebook. They get muff. But you my people, let me tell you something. All that muff they're making is because nobody buying Brazilian hair. And nobody paying nobody horse. And we're not giving nobody $200 gas slip. We're not getting for ourselves the money for the country. Beat you, y'all go look for work. Beat you then, y'all go look for work. Or else y'all work on Facebook. Y'all will just talk all day, nothing happening. Right now, I'm looking for one. That $10 I get in my pocket, I will take it here to beat you. You owe. No drug selling in the country, so we get free money passing around. You hear me?
Big people government. We increased the pipe-borne water in 2 years by 5 percentage points. Before it was only increased over 21 years, only 5 percentage points. Big people government. You can go to the southeast anytime during the year in a reasonable time, and you will not get stuck on any major highway across the country. Big people government. Any store you go to, rest will be there. You don't got to clean over fence to go take rest. Big people government, they're building rehab across the country to make sure they take the kids off the streets. Big people government, all the drugs that president we have brought in the country that they put in people's houses all around the paper, arresting all of them to take them out of the country. Big people government, if you're not producing President Baga say you going. Big people government, if you steal, they're sending you to court. Big people government, hospitals, schools are being built across the country. Big people government, yellow machine, every country getting some. Big people government, you go to the government ministry, everybody being forced to produce. And they will sit there and try to create religious bigotry in the country. I want you to listen very carefully to Minister Sando. I have nothing against Honorable former Minister of Finance, my brother Connor. But these two men going back and forth, what I don't want us to do is to infuse religious bigotry into something as simple. Listen to Minister Sando clearly, and I'm grateful some of my brothers from the Muslim side are here and to listen for themselves And I hope the radio stations are on across the country. And you're listening exactly what Minister Sano said. It's 1 minute, 30 seconds long. I will play it in its entirety. He said it's on the show yesterday, and people running away with it just to create nonsense in the country. We need to stop this. We must stop this. Listen to Minister Sano.
I know Amara we come from the Islamic faith, but as Christian, when I'm guilty, I go to seek the face of God in supplication. For the things that Amara colluded and did to this country, for which it seems now that we are starting anew on the leadership of President Blaka, he needs to take a time to go to the mosque on Friday to seek the face of Allah in supplication. Let it be forgive. Because this country, there are so many persons who died by the roadside because the hospitals were not functional. There are so many students who cannot go to school because of the decision that the Lex of Amara made to make Joe president. We have not forgotten it. So when they come here and pretend that there's some angel and they got all the solutions to the country's problem, it becomes so annoying. We know them. So, I mean, the way people see politics are deception and things that everybody in the country.
And this is what the minister said. And we need to stop this because this is how we harm each other. Now, before you come after me, you get ready for me. I'm a Gola man. Half my family is Muslim. I have connection to Grand Cape County and Wapello County. So when you're ready to come, half my family, my father, born brother, one man, one pie, he was an imam. So I know when Muslims want to ask for forgiveness from Allah, they go and see Allah's supplication. This is not a job against the Mohammedanism or the Muslim faith. We need to stop this in our society. You can say Senator Sano went after the senator. That's fair game. But to use religious bigotry of some sort and say, oh, somebody's putting the religious faith down of our brothers, the Muslims, this is not fair. We need to stop this. This is dangerous for our society. You can come and any well-meaning Muslim who listens to this will never, under any circumstance, say the Muslim faith is being attacked by what Minister Sano said. We need to stop this. We forget too quickly in our society. And to my brothers on the other side who believe they can use such sentiments and they believe it's going to score them political point, people will turn their backs on you because you're trying to use something that could divide us. At no point, under any circumstance whatsoever, any rational person will listen to Minister Sano, will tell you that in any way, shape, or form, he disparaged or he says anything disparaging towards the Muslim faith. We need to stop this. This is dangerous when we do this in our society. Score your political points. But when you have nothing else, when the paper continue to tackle drugs across the country, you got nothing else to talk about. Look, I want to say something else also though. And I know my brother Stanton is not going to listen, but I want him to understand something. And I will post this picture on the screen for you guys to see. It's my sister Brenda. She said something today, and I do agree. This is what we do in our country. Every single time when a woman gets appointed to a position in government, we say she slept her way to the top. She was loving to one man, like how she got a job. I know Brenda said a lot of things. Some of the stuff I cannot repeat here. Go on her page, she's there. We need to stop this. If a woman gets appointed, like the deputy DEA boss for operation, look at the kind of disparaging thing that Senton was saying about this woman. We got to stop in our society. Now, not the woman on the screen, but the deputy for operation with the DEA. We can have our disagreement when a woman is promoted on her own merit. If she's promoted on her own accolades and she's achieved that position and she gets her appointment, let's stop tearing that woman down, Stanton, and say the only reason why she get that position is because she's loving to the president, she's loving to the president, she's loving to the president. A woman can actually climb to the highest level, to the highest echelon within the government without having to sleep with somebody to get that. These things, I know we've taken the politics so far. This is scary. This is very, very scary. I mean, somebody even I posted something on my Facebook page today, and it commenting on Senator Collins and Minister Sano stuff, and somebody said, "Oh, Dwadu all dressed up because the government government giving him money now." Can you imagine? That picture was probably taken 10 years ago. President Blaka was nowhere near the presidency. I'm not going to tell you, say, But begin, if I want to eat chicken, I will eat chicken. Everybody in America, even working in group job, you want to go eat chicken, you want to eat steak, you will go buy steak. Buying kosu in America is not an accomplishment. Owning car in America is not an accomplishment. These petty things that we do to each other, when somebody wear a watch, he say, oh, the man wearing expensive watch because now he on government platform. I don't know if when we do these things, we trying to achieve something, but we need to stop these stupid arguments on Facebook. And I also want to highlight, big shout out to the finance minister and what is happening in Liberia. This is a very, very big deal. I want to continue to encourage people who don't understand what is happening. Look at the great things that are happening. Okay, the finance ministry budget and delivery GDP grows by 5.1%. So Liberia continuing to improve. I want to say big shout out to the financial team in Liberia, the LRA, Honorable Jala and his team over there, LRA, Minister Ngafuan and his team over our finance ministry. Great things are happening in the country. Our economy continue to expand because we have real technocrats at the helm of their various entities across the country. This is what we should be celebrating. This is what we should be critiquing, not fermenting lies that will divide us. The more we divide ourselves, the less we are likely to develop. We must understand this. And if somebody believes that they can come to power by fermenting division, I just want to say to you, you're hitting your own head. It is not going to work on any circumstance. Yes, this is the same picture I just posted. Look, let's continue to celebrate this country. Let's continue to elevate this country. Nothing is going to allow Liberia to go behind. I want to say this. Look, if people believe that your opportunity to come to power now is going to be what happened before under the likes of former President Weah, where he get came to power with his fanfare. Oh, I just let it go. It's not going to happen again in Liberia's history because we understand the consequences of allowing misfits, lucky ground boys at the helm of power. Because when we do that, we doom the country. When we do that, we doom the country. So Liberians themselves, I do understand there is a small percentage, maybe 5% of the population that were beneficiary. They were girlfriends and boyfriends. Some of them were working in various government positions. Some of them were getting cash up from the government, not cash out, but mobile money from the government. And they believe the only way that can continue is to have this lucky greener boy who does not care about government, does not care about governance to come back to power. Nobody will bring this man back to power under any circumstance. But one thing I love about why he would not come to power, because I know they don't have the same machinery. Meaning the very people that brought this administration to power, they freaked out all of them. All the big technocrat, the people that really could have steered CDC in the right direction. President Weah wanted everybody to worship him. So he took these little boys and little girls, and they were his sycophant, They made him their demagogue to worship him. So that's the only people he wanted. Baku, you strong. Chi. But if you have men and women who know themselves, they like say Alcivar, Tukpa, the likes of Solo, Rested Soul, most of the technocrats, most of the very educated Seditians that brought this party together. He ostracized all of them. How are they going to come back to power? No, but what are they going to sell? What would be the message to the Liberian people? You think any Liberian citizen will ever elect any kind of lucky grown boy again if you don't go for a debate, if you don't present to the Liberian people your vision for the country? How are you going to actualize that vision across Liberia? You think jajizing and Moyanization are going to bring anybody back to power again? You're fooling yourself. The people in the Southeast, they have seen exactly what development looks like. The people in Lofa County eyes are open clearly. They've seen what proper governance looks like. The people in central Liberia, in Bone County, and places like Margibi and Grand Bassa County, they understand fully what transparency and accountability and responsible governance looks like. And they want that repeated and continued. They no longer want somebody to come to power, and all he cares about is to go in the studio and make music and smoke enough opium and chase small girls across our country, disparage the entire country, where Liberia became an international pariah, sold our passports, the international community, our foreign ministry was a joke. The foreign minister was chased out of New York because he attempted to rape a girl. We can no longer go back to that, ever again. If anybody believes that we are ever going to go back to that, you are out of your freaking mind. When we had drug cartel, They came to our country from 2008 to 2022. They dug a massive hole in the country, brought a massive amount of drugs into our country that this president is fighting to remove out of the country. Then you get the very people that brought the drugs to the country talking about, if Papa not fighting the drug group, now your nose and your brought the drugs to the country, if Papa will get this right. Your go, your come down. We are no longer ever again bringing a bottom feeder or chima bucket carrier back to the presidency. This country will forge ahead. We will take men and women who are prepared. When President Baka say, I won't run, we will take somebody who is prepared heavily to govern this country. Now, what do? Leave the country for 50 consecutive days where we were paying $150,000 United States dollars every single day to keep you in a hotel. We are not going back to that again, ever again. This country will grow. You're welcome to the show from across the country. Let's recognize the radio stations, man. I want to recognize Classy FM out of Margibi County. Thank you for joining us. Radio Margibi, also in Kakata, Margibi County. Voice of Lupa, the mighty voice of Lupa of the Wologisi. We say welcome to the show. Peace FM out of Habel. Radio Kwatike in Bangabon County. We say welcome to the show. Ablija Radio all the way out there in the mighty Grand Bassa County. Premier FM in Banga. Radio Gompa out of Ganta City, Nima County. Radio Yalimba way out there in Seklipi, Nima County. Top FM out of Zweju, Grangita County. Radio Sano way out there in Greenville, Sano County. Most of you guys in Greenville, man, we say big shout out to you. Thank you for joining the conversation. Thank you for joining this afternoon. Smile FM, also out of Grangita County. Radio Butor, the ever-present Radio Butor is also here. Front and Center, Trust FM out of Bomi County. Punch FM in Morovia, Bujo Radio. It's also here, DC 101. We want to say big shout out to you guys, man. Thank you for relaying the show. We must send the message to our people that we are one people. I don't care if you're an atheist, if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, we are one people. No division. Anybody who's trying to divide us on religious grounds, we say woe unto you. We say you are now one of us if you're trying to divide this country unnecessarily. Saying as a Christian that I am, and so go to the mosque and pray, go to the church and pray, is not an insult to me. If you're Muslim and I tell you go to the mosque and pray for supplication because you did something wrong, it's not an insult. We need to stop this. This is not okay. Say something else against the minister, but stop lying. And no defense of the minister. I defend no man. But I want to say this. We must put Liberia first. You will bring a message. You will bring an actionable message. You will bring a message that fit the Liberian experience, that we can indigenize to the Liberian condition to find solutions to our problems. You will not bring John Jais in and you say you're going to come back to power. It's not going to work. Yeah, let's start the show, y'all.
ClassReloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JNB and JKK progress all across the country.
The ClassReloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress, Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The ClassReloaded, we're shining today.
From Morovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class
Who
Reloaded.
better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded. We are online every day.
Every day.
Hey. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we shining today.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, hey. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Class Reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The Class Reloaded,
Truth.
Liberia rising.
Progress.
JMB and JKK,
Develop.
the rescue mission, we move soon.
The Class Reloaded.
True.
Area rising.
Progress.
JMB and JKK.
Develop. The rescue mission, we move soon.
Okay, some people, I decided to come on screen to say this because some people will get there with me today. But you know, he not paying nobody more. At the end of the day, it's about Liberia. I want to say this. There is something we love to do in Liberia. And I'm speaking directly to the senator of Bapalo County, Senator Amara Kane. And in a way, I want to spin it that way. Amara Kane called Sano an unskilled panderer, basically. You see, I'm saying Minister Sano is unskilled. He's pandering to the president. And I want to ask this question. There is this tendency in Liberia. When you take somebody from OSA and you bring that person into government and they get some experience in government, and then while they're in government, then Liberia is giving spaces at Harvard, Liberia is giving spaces at MIT, and then while they're sitting government official, they do a 1-year course at MIT, they do a 6-month course at MIT, then all of a sudden, they're the experience when you have all the book. I want to ask you a question. This is where the hit may come from. You're asking what Amara Kane was doing in Philadelphia before Ellen brought him main minister. I want to ask you, you're asking, you can Google this information. When Amara Kane left a community college in Philadelphia, ask me what Amara Kane was doing when he got a bachelor's degree out of Philadelphia before Ellen brought him and made him minister of planning. What was he doing in America? Was he working in the highest position in America and in corporate America? Was he working in the highest position in corporate America? Amara Kane came to prominence after he came into government. So when you call somebody unskilled minister, former Minister Kane and Senator Kane right now, where did you acquire your skills from? Were you a financial expert before you went to the finance ministry? Absolutely not. You were an IT person with a community college degree. Were you a financial expert when you went to planning? Did you go to Harvard before you went into Liberia, Amara Kane, Senator Kane? Did you go to Harvard before? Did you go to MIT before? I still see you at your age, you're still wearing MIT and Harvard t-shirts. Did you go to Harvard before Ellen brought you to Liberia? Or did you go to Harvard after you were minister and then a space was provided for Liberia, a 6-month course, a 1-year course, a 1.5-year course, and then you come to Harvard to do that course, and all of a sudden, everybody else is unskilled because you use the position of government to acquire additional degrees. Here's the point I'm trying to make. A man with a master's degree in the person of Sano is not unskilled. Maybe it would not be the skill that you want. But when we come to government, all of a sudden, for example, take Samuel Tuer, for example. Samuel Tuer was a truck driver here. He comes to Liberia. He becomes the Minister of Finance. All of a sudden, he's the best financial mind we ever had. This is lunacy. There are so many people they take from nowhere and they give them a big position in government. All of a sudden, they become an expert in governmental policies and everything government. I'm not saying you should not come to government unless you have skills. But what I'm saying is you must recognize the place you're coming from and start placing blame because now you think you have acquired a little bit of skill. Do you know how many government officials that claim Harvard and MIT after they came into government? It's a 1 year course. It's a certificate program sometimes. Sometimes it's a master's program, but it's 1 year. Even Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we used to call Ellen an economist. Ellen was never an economist, by the way. If you look at the record, Ellen was never an economist. Ellen did 1 year course at Harvard. And when you come to government, and you come to Harvard, you come to MIT, you come to Princeton on this sabbatical for 1 year course, and all of a sudden, you are the only person who's an expert in Liberia. This is not right. This is not right. And I want people who are out there and saying Americana is this all-knowing expert, ask them what Americana was doing in Philadelphia. The records are there. Anybody can look it up because when I say it, it was Eduardo saying it. Look at what Americana was doing in Philadelphia before Ellen brought him to Liberia and made him minister of planning before the two ministry merged and became Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. What was he doing in Philadelphia before? Look, what we do to Liberia sometimes is this. We do this to Liberia. And I want to say this directly to my brother Amar Kone. The day the president appoint me, when I come to the Senate, you must say you're not appointing me. I mean, you're not approving me. Yeah, that's fine. We can have that conversation at that time. But I'm going to say this to you. We need to stop this. And there is a tendency on the part of Amar Kone. He has not spoken against this. And the reason why I'm getting very mad, because this is dangerous to our society, when people try to use religious bigotry, religious sentiment to stoke certain issues in the country, it endangers all of us. We came from a war where we killed each other over stupidity. This is one such stupidity. We need to stop this. We need to stop this. We can't be doing this over and over. If I say right now that I tell a Muslim brother, go to the mosque and pray for supplication and ask Allah to forgive you, that is not a job against Mohammedanism. That is not a job against any brother who are Muslims. If somebody told me, do I go to the church and ask for forgiveness? It is not against Christianity. We need to stop this. This is not fair to our society. If somebody tell me, say you believe in atheism or our traditional religion, go to the Zoe Bush and ask your Zoe people for forgiveness. It is not disparaging Zoe Bush people. We got to stop this. We must stop this. And to my Muslim brother, I want you guys to understand something. You are us. You are us. We are you. These divisions will only further divide this country. It is unnecessary. I know people try to take the small thing. I'm going to challenge the imams of the mosques. I called my uncle today to speak to his congregation and let him know that these things are dangerous. People must stop. If they want to take Minister Sano's what he said and play it, Minister Sano and the senator, they're going back at each other. This is fine. I don't care nothing about it. This is normal. I don't think anything is wrong with that. This is healthy for our democracy. But when we try to stoke certain sentiments that can cause chaos in the country, I listened to former Senator Sano out of Bomi County. This is a dangerous man. This is a dangerous man. Minister Sano, if you're listening to me, sir, I have a lot of respect for you, but I lost a lot. When you try to stoke religious bigotry to create division amongst our people, you should have no place, especially in public life in our society. Stop this. Stop this. This is dangerous. This is not okay. Just because I disagree with my brother Muhammad here, it doesn't mean I hate Muhammad personally. Just because Muhammad disagrees with me or my brother Fofana disagrees with me, it doesn't mean I hate Fofana personally. We stop this. We are scattered throughout the country. We are in every county. We are in every city. We are the same people. Disagreement, it is not trouble. Disagreements are not religious. Disagreement are not sexual in nature, so to speak, to say I hate women or I hate men. If we are going to have this Liberia where we move forward, we can disagree without being disagreeable. Liberia got to grow. Liberia must forge ahead. There is absolutely nothing that was said that was disrespectful to a faith that I respect so dearly because half my family are Muslims, to a faith that I respect. We need to stop this. This is dangerous. It is the only message I want to bring here today. But I want Amara Conan to ask himself, what did Amara Conan was doing in Philadelphia before Ellen Broyen and stuff? This is the question. The information is on Google. Anybody can look this up. Once again, you're welcome to the show. Let's talk Liberia. And at the end of the day, you're kind of say, oh, because Dwalu not go to Harvard, so Dwalu, blah, 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 blah. Then we'll have that discussion. But at that point, we will talk Liberia. At the end of the day, we will no longer keep quiet about this country because for so long, we've kept quiet, and keeping quiet kept this country behind. We're not going to keep quiet. We will have our disagreements. And we will talk Liberia because this country got to grow. This country got to grow. Anything that stagnates this economy, anything that stagnates this country, anything that keeps us in one place, we will try to make sure Liberia ball starts rolling. Amara Kone, stop calling your friends unskilled sycophants. At one point, if that's the comparison you're making, then you are also an unskilled sycophant fan at one point because that's what you actually were back in the day when you were peddling up to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf when she brought you into the country from Philadelphia, doing what you were doing in Philadelphia to make you an entire minister of the Republic of Liberia. No love lost there, brother. When I see you, as always, we'll always laugh. I hope it stays the same, but if it doesn't, no big deal. The minister, former minister and Mr. Senator right now, but what you said was entirely wrong. And I hope you have the willpower to tell the people the high position you held in Philadelphia before you were made minister by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and before you wore the Harvard T-shirt and the MIT T-shirt. What schools you went to before you became Minister of Finance. And then the Liberian people send you to Harvard for the 1-year program. They send you to MIT for the 1-year program. And then you use Liberia, you went to the World Bank to be able to get that. So it was through the same channel that you got all the so-called experience that you have today. Don't forget that, Honorable Minister. My brother Black, welcome to the show.
Good evening, my brother Dalu. You getting me right? And good evening to our audience. Your monologue, it was fascinating. It's just a fact. People have benefited from this country, and they want to view themselves as though the country is benefiting from them. Religious bigotry, religious sympathy. For far too long, Dalu, this thing has been going on in our country for so long that a segment of our population religiously I've seen ourselves as being people like the endangered species, and all of the time they will go and throw rocks, and at the end of the day, go and hide behind religion. When you come out to make big mouth, you feel that you are a man, Mr. Big Stuff. You come, your mom says, stop trunking rock in the community, you will hit somebody, you will hit somebody, you will hurt somebody. Then you dare tell your mom, you better leave me and you better leave me. Now the rock go and get somewhere, they come for you, you go and run under your mother's bed. That's how Amara Conan, he's become the biggest kid within the Liberian political space. Okay. You come out, 2 different occasions. You've been doing these disrespectful right outs. But this one, the last 2, you try to disrespect the president. Not even try, you disrespect the president. Telling people outright that the president is not in a good state of mind to make decisions for the country. How do you think this country has been running since 2024? A president comes out because the security, especially the LDEA, the president took it very serious. That is why he himself went through drug tests. His vice president take a drug test. That is the level at which the president has taken this drug issue. And all of the time this investigation is going on, the president is being briefed. And now it came to the stage where the man who has the DEA is being alleged to have been conflicted one way or the other. The president come up boldly and say, Mr. Justice Minister, Attorney General, I gave you 48 hours. Put that report on my desk. Let me evaluate and make a determination. The same day, It is placed on the desk of the president. This very day, on that very day before it is placed on the desk of the president, there's a National Security Council meeting of all of the actors within the National Security Council. And the president reviewed and took action. All along, the LTEA boss must go, the police boss must go. Now the president made a determination. You go in and come up with another disrespectful release. And you are being responded to. And that's the fact. Dwalu. If somebody, I'm a Catholic, somebody knows that I'm a Catholic, that Councilor Man, if I say Councilor Man, you need to go to the priest for confession. Councilor Man, you get verse? we Catholics, we'll go to the church to make confession. Who do we, and we'll go we'll use the priest to intercede in our behalf. That's what we Catholics do. Why would I get angry? I can tell that there's a simple thing that goes around every day. The thing is, these people have always used religion. And look, let me think, I will take this time to say a big thank you and congratulate most of our brothers and sisters within the Islamic faith that are Muslim. There's an imam who even wrote again, I have forgotten the name. The imam said, go to the mosque on Friday and pray to Allah to forgive your sins. That is an affirmation that it is not an affront to the religion. But you know, before they use these things, as soon as they say they may attack the religion, people will come out. But now the people themselves have realized that, look, we have to take a setback from this religious sentiment a little bit. Because people are using it too much. And this makes the religion to look ugly in the eyes of so many people. And you know that many people have been affected by these kind of actions. So if Amara Kone wants to be a politician, you want to be a man who can throw stone, you think you will come fight us with bamboo stick, then we can't fight you with bamboo stick. We will bring law for you to mob you. Seriously, politically. You can't fight me with bamboo straw. I will mock you with a log. That is just what Daniel Sanders did. And I hope the way the Liberian people said, flock him in all of the comment sections. I hope he realized it. And going forward, this is politics. This is your country. Let's engage politically. It must be done maturely. And lastly, before I finish, I already dealt with this guy this morning. I reminded him about Fallujah. I think with part 1 and part 2. A man who is morally bankrupt, immoral, to the extent that it is alleged that even somebody who is your wife, you go to the person's sister and even come out with a product. You are the one to be morally judging people. A young lady who have gone through the ranks and files of the security sector. Don't I have this young woman photo here? I put it on my live this evening when she was in our green recruits. Many of you up today say you now have seen her face to say beautiful woman at the time. But brother, hard times, it makes things to look different. And this young woman have worked her way. I even saw her photo in the Pentagon. This young woman have worked her way, and you come out to say it is because her promotion came out of relationship, love of affairs. You don't disrespect women in that. And that is why even the other woman that sat with him on the show and indulged it, that's the reason why I went to search those videos to bring them back to remind her too. That the both of you make Fallujah to fail. So if other people make Moreover to fall, they're equal.
On that pause, I hope there's no feedback coming from here. Lord Gina, you said it, man. And Gina, you got a valid point. If the man is unskilled sycophant, and the man that unskilledness can shake your table where you're being there always, then I think he got small skill. But the falling of Fallujah, I don't want to comment on that. I'm going to skip over it. But we actually have it on the topic tonight because this is very disrespectful to our women in the country. Honorable mom is on the topic tonight about when a woman gets promoted in our country. Guys, if you get a feedback, please let me know. I think I face it, but I don't think I face it again.
I think you're good.
So we'll try again. But I'm going to say this, honorable mom. You got whatever to say right now, but the issue of if there's my sister, I have 2 sisters in Liberia right now. If one of my sisters get promoted by the president or does something, Then she grew up right in Yekepa with you guys, born and raised in Yekepa herself. And next thing you know, they say, oh, Nije got this position because this is disrespectful to me as well. Some of these things we need to stop in the society. And I know Santos something can go very far. So I will call it. I said, listen, man, what's going on? I said, some of the things, they're not joke. There are certain things you cannot say. You cannot just say about certain people. And I love what Brenda did today. I mean, I don't approve of everything she did, but I responded to her. I said, as the chairman of the small what you call, I want to say to you, we take it to court. Let me hear from you.
But Valu, let me say good evening to you and to Albert. It's good to be here again this great day. Let me say a very good evening to our compatriots, Liberians listening to us at home and abroad. It's good to be here as always to talk about Liberia with you. It's always a joy to speak about our country and try to put our country up in a positive light. Since that is going to be on the topic today, I think I will skip that in my intro. But I just want to start my intro. Fallujah, guys, they blame picking here full of all kind of trouble. I'm watching that thing there, but anyway, we'll come to that subsequently. But today, I wanted to focus on the University of Liberia, gentlemen. You know, I listened, and let me say thanks to Clarence Jackson and especially the president of the University of Liberia. I listened to a great interview held with the president of the University of Liberia. And I just want to say this to our so called, and I say so called, intellectual people or intelligentsia or professors, to be called professors at the university. You know, if you are an intellectual, if you are well educated, I think your strength and your power must reside in your intelligence, in your ability to, in your negotiation skills, in your ability to meet people head on the intellectual table. You know, one thing about Liberia I've observed is that they say all the intellectual centers, all the intellectual, they start when you start an intellectual discourse and people hear, well, the next thing they go to the insults. And I say this to the faculty and staff of the University of Liberia to sit back and think and ask yourself, what has all the strikes, the boycotts, the go slow, whatever the demonstration, what have it gained the University of Liberia? What, show me one thing that somebody can say, look, because of this strike, because of this protest on the University of Liberia, this is what the University of Liberia has gained. What has it gained? Absolutely nothing. The only thing it has achieved over the years is probably having one semester in a whole year, or changing president after president after president. And everybody who comes to bring reform in the premier university and the largest university of the country, you'll try to find a way to sabotage that change by trying to hold the person hostage with this threat of strike and protest and everything else. Today, because you cannot sit on a negotiating table and have the negotiating power as intellectuals to see and put what your matters are across the table, again, you have gone on to say that you are going on strike as faculty and staff. Why? Because of the tremendous reforms that have now come to the university. What do you people want? Jesus Christ cannot come down to, even if Jesus Christ come down, the same way the Jewish people, the Jews, God said, okay, let me send my son They look at him and say, man, that's God's son. We're king. We want here. You want to be man. You want to be king. You want to be this. And same way. It tells you the mind of us human beings. Because look, you listen to the president and the kind of reforms that are coming to the university. Then it beats my imagination. And the things that you are demanding for. You want money. You want pay increase. You want this. You want that. And that's what the president says. The government of Liberia alone cannot fund the University of Liberia. In fact, she said it plainly that, look, around the world, even in the United States, some of the universities, their budget is even bigger than the entire Liberia budget, the country budget. So the government alone. But they need donors, they need other people outside to philanthropists and benefactors to support the university. But these benefactors also are looking and reading and following the school they want to support as she steps out to look for support. Then they look at the same people and say, but who wants to support the school? Every family got to close down. Every time you got to shut down the school. For what reason? Every time you got to shut down the school. All right? And sometimes you look at the demands they're making. Some of them telling you, say, oh, they might not retire people who have reached retirement age. Long time. It passed over 10 years. They might not still retire them. They must still be in the system. Some people won't be working full-time in the university, working full-time at government ministry, 2 times, 2 places at the same time. It is not allowed. And because I've come to realize that the new vice president for fiscal affairs, Lester Tenney, and the president said it, you may not like him for his political views, but that doesn't matter to her. What matters is his qualification and his competence, that the university position was open to many people. He came way on top and merited the job. You may not like him for his political views. You may not like him for what he stands. But she also went beyond that and says, since he's been in that position, first as interim and acting, the reforms he's made has saved the university a lot. And it is even helping now to save the university even more. The faculty and staff say they ain't got confidence in him, but they didn't give one reason why to say since this man came, the university has lost money. Since this man came, the university has gone, the finances are gone amok. No, but because the man came and said, look, we have to save money within the university. We have to move double pay from the university payroll. We have to move people who are supposed to be retired. We're supposed to do all these reforms. That's what people don't want. Liberians have sat down and exploited the system for so long. And when people want to change it, the only thing they think about now, let's go on protest. Let's go on demonstration. What has it gained? What have you gained from protesting the University of Liberia? She came with vacation schools, at least 2 semesters, 2 graduations a year to catch up with the international curriculum and the school tables. You're not start again talking about you're not opening. I just say to the president, if you can look for your adjunct professors, if you can find Liberians in that country that can teach the kind of subjects that you have, as you have put your foot down to say on the 26th of this month, the university will open, let it open. The people who don't want to work, if they believe they get skills and they go somewhere, let them move. You look, if you don't happy with the work condition, who force you there? Resign and go take your skills and go somewhere else. All right. But I can assure you, when that woman try to stay and be committed to opening, the next thing they will join is to protest and riot. Then they'll start going to classroom, start breaking windows. The same university that they're trying to renovate, they'll start breaking those windows and start disrupting classes. And I'm asking the university to get the law enforcement people ready. Because these things got to stop. This nonsense in our country that every little thing we get on the street, every little thing we disrupt the whole classroom. It has to stop. If you can sit as an intellectual person on the table to negotiate, and you believe your skills, you are more valuable than anything, then resign and take your skills somewhere else. But we can't have the country like that. Every time the university closing down, every time it's closing down, when they try to regularize, every president, to the extent that the last female president I remember, they went to the woman's house, entered the home, vandalized the home of the last president they had. Why we want to do this all the time?
Councilor Man, before
Stop.
you go away from you, I want you to elaborate a little bit more on this entitlement syndrome for certain people who have worked in university space before. They don't want to be held accountable to anything. They feel entitled to their position. They feel entitled to the presidency of the university. I was reading a publication from one of the professors at the university stating we have all the liberal PhD. They went abroad. They well one from America to come oversee the university. Is she producing? Do you know how many universities get different nationalities from elsewhere? Can you elaborate on this entitlement syndrome in our
No, you
society?
see, you are not entitled to anything. Absolutely nothing. If you had all that PhD, you're sitting there when the announcement went out or looking for president of the university, you should have applied. You're supposed to compete in that environment. It is not that what people don't want is for people to fix the spoil system. The same thing our president is doing today that everybody else, most of them coming ganging up against him. It's the same thing that is happening. People have abused. Look, people, you director to ministry, maybe Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Agriculture, or you working there, full-time job. Then you won't be full-time professor at the university, so you'll be getting two pay, double dipping. It is against the law in Liberia. It's against the public financial law. It is against the constitution. You can't even do that. In fact, this law says that if you are a full-time employee of the government, what you can do, you can offer your services in teaching, and you can be compensated, so you can be probably part-time and other things. In fact, not only that, some of them are full-time to the university, full-time employee to the government ministry, the full-time employee to other 3 universities. One person get teaching all over the place. They can't even focus. They cannot even focus. Now, the woman has brought in a system. Look, the woman has said that even the little work that they have done in the finance area with Lester Tenney, already they have started to save serious money that they don't even need to go back to government to increase people pay because they realized there was too much liberal in the salary business at the University of Liberia. That these kinds of reforms and discipline people bring in that people don't want. They want to sit down and enjoy the spoil system and use this whole cloud of a faculty association, as union, and all these things, and think they can hold administration to ransom. That's what people have always been doing, because they believe that if they don't open school on time, the students will riot. Then they'll put pressure on the university president to leave. All the university presidents that y'all have put pressure on to leave and they have left. What has it gained the University of Liberia? What have you gained from it? Nothing. And I like what she said. She said she's not leaving. She never thought about it one day, but somewhere along the line of her career, she dreamt of being a president of the university, and she now that her dream job, and she's staying there. She's not going to run away. And I like that woman get something and crew blood, something away inside her.
That woman married Librarian man. That woman married Librarian man.
Of course, but she didn't even get down. She said she's not going nowhere.
You yeah, but
the point I'm making is that, and that these people should stop trying to let the same canker, the same old system, and just exploit the system, that they can just squeeze here, do this, and take from the system without the system giving back. You got Liberians now who are going for the university is spending on them, sending them for double masters, for PhD and everything. They have come back. You got old people still sitting down there. They finish passing their their years. They won't move. For them to employ the new younger people, the younger professors, the younger people to be, they won't do it. They just won't hold the system hostage because
yeah, but I don't blame them, Councilor Man. I blame the administrators of the university. And I'm going to say this though, and there's a tendency. In fact, I used to go on LU campus a lot when I'm in Liberia. I will publish these papers and I will go speak to the boys on the Palawa Hall, and we'll have this titty-tat interaction back and forth. And one thing that we'll always say is, 8 hours. I don't know one university, major university, where you able to teach to the university if you really giving that university the time that is required to give them. They say, oh, we don't make enough money. No, university professors are not rich people. The place they can make the money is publications, is research, writing books. Yeah. That's how they can make the money. But Librarian professor don't buy one paper, they will not publish it, but they won't get paid American style universities. Before I go to my brother Abraham, Councilor Man, let me give you the last word on this thing.
It's disappointing, when every time people are trying to take steps to take our country forward, you still got the people who have benefited from the spoil system trying to bring us backward. And I know this, and I see it for a fact because Dwalu, some of us, were, even though it was a necessary evil that the war came, but we left the country as refugees, some of us were opportune to start professional careers outside Liberia. You bring that expertise back home, you enter government system, it's a problem. Nobody won't change their old system because everybody's believe that the system. Look, they'll be complaining. You not hear anything what people can say like, bro, nothing in government, but I won't be there.
I know.
They won't be stealing the paper then to sell it. They won't be taking money to re-signing paper. They won't be doing this. So the ministry is not productive and not doing anything, but they won't be there because why? It is inherently corrupt. And anybody who comes with professional discipline to change it, you become the enemy. And that is what's happening at the University of Liberia. And it needs to stop. Is she the best ever in the world? I don't think so. But at least at this time, we need to go forward. And this shows the direction a president brings to a country. And I think everybody is picking up from the leadership of the country. When they see a serious-minded president, people in different areas become serious-minded. If they see people who would call you to the marshal and say, my man, the people complaining too much, just slow down on your team there, then it knows that you're not ready, you're not serious. And that's what's happening at the university, and they need to stop. And I hope she will stand her ground, and I hope the government people will support her, and that she will stay and open the university and do what she has to do for the best. And people don't want to let them move. If students don't want to be in that university, they get plenty of other school, go there. But you
President Mom, you could not say it any better. And I'm going to say that you can cost me after university, not for everybody. University, not for everybody. If you cannot go along with the standards set by the university, go to a community college. Go somewhere else where you don't fit in, or go learn a trade. It's not for everybody. The university has to be strengthened. University look, my father still talks about University of Liberia. Just say it was made in heaven. It was a premier university. He could not enter the University of Liberia. He had to go slow way to come to America to be able to go to school because he couldn't enter he's still talking about University of Liberia, even though he go there, just said I was kind of heavy. But now we just check out the university. My brother Blair, my brother Abraham, let's hear from you. In fact, let me get Lester Tinning. Professor Lester Tinning says something. And somebody like Lester Tinning needs to be in that system. That system needs to be restructured and chakla so it can work. My brother Abraham.
Yeah, Donald. Let me say good evening to all of the panelists. And let me say thank you for following, and I hope that everybody shared the show. Duadu, I have three things on my mind. The first issue have to do with the Liberians that are in Cambodia. I strongly believe that the Minister of Foreign Affairs should be able to strike to be able to find out what is happening, because the Liberians then they have been in custody because they don't have transportation. Some of them they don't have their passport for them to be able to come back home. So I will urge the Minister of Foreign Affairs for her to launch an inquiry in that matter, so that we can be able to see the reason why our brothers and sisters are in Cambodia and they want to come back home. And the next thing I have to do with Senator Amra Coney. And I will just say this, and this will be my last time talking on this. I am asking every one of them who have inboxed me for them to be able to stop. Stop inboxing me about this stuff. Stop it today, stop it tomorrow. I was on the show. I did not observe Minister Daniel Sano attacking religion. If I have seen that, I will be able to bring Daniel Sano to check, or I will be able to interact with Daniel Sano. So just stop these sycophantic behaviors. I have come on the show here, I have said that all of those Liberians who voted for President George M. Weah, that if you are a Christian, you should be able to go to your church for you to be able to ask for God to forgive you. If you are a Muslim, you should be able to go to mosque for you to be able to ask for forgiveness. That was not a problem. Why Daniel Sandro now come on today for him to be able to express himself in a very cordial and respectful manner, and then some of you are coming in my inbox telling me we are disappointed. You will be disappointed many days because I'm not here to satisfy you. I'm not here to satisfy you today. I'm not here to satisfy you tomorrow. Just stop this sycophantic behavior because it is not conducive for our society. When one person make a statement, you should first, before you be able to write, before you can be able to say something about that identical statement, you should be able to listen. You should be able to listen continuously 1 or 2, 3 times before you can be able to write. But some of you guys, you come out because your hands are itching on the blue app for you to be writing. And I'm saying this as a caveat to every one of you guys who have been writing me. Just stop it. I'm not Senator Amra's spokesman. I'm not Senator Amra's spokesperson. Just stop it. And so that I can be, I have my own family for me to be able to look after. Just stop embarrassing me with your Senator Amra Kone stuff. This year, if I was Senator Amra Kone, I would not even respond to that. Maturity need to come to our Liberian Senate. I'm not saying that the Senator is not mature. That's not what I'm saying. But in any kind of issue, you leave it out. You don't write. You don't write because when you write, the other person will counteract. When you write, the other person will counter. Now it has become like a war on the blue app between Amra Kone, Senator Amra Kone, and Daniel Sano. That is not right. So let me just stop here. Because
Thank you so much. Look, at the end of the day, we will discuss Liberia.
Why Ambrose is laughing?
Okay, and let's go up to Carl. Carl, welcome to the show. Now, before Carl coming, I want to play maybe 1 minute of Dr. Lester Tennant's where he's talking about the University of Liberia. I'm glad Councilor Mann brought that up. But let's listen to Dr. Tennant for a second. Some of the thing is long. It's on his Facebook page. Please take a look at it and listen to what Dr. Tennant had to say about the University of Liberia and some of the changes that must come to that university.
50,000 a month on people who are not working. I speak with some degree of authority because I have that information. You have $50,000 we pay every month to people who are on our payroll, but you can't see them. And sometimes people call them ghosts. The reason why I will not refer to them as ghosts is because they do exist. And we are forced to maintain them on the payroll because they have not been adequately transitioned to the Social Security program. So we have former employees, which are faculty and staff that are currently on our payroll at different percentages, pending the transition to NASCOM. And that is one of the items that tend to eat into our payroll, into our allotment. We are paying over 600,000 annually to people who you can't see. So when you go to do hair count, they are on a payroll, but you will not see them because they are not working. But we have to pay them because if we don't pay them, there will be another noise. The next thing is the demographics of our university is really skewing in the direction of the old age. The GSC report, and that is where our reliance comes from. The GSC has flagged in their recent report, this year report, that there are over 279 or 286 people who are eligible for retirement. And the GSC gave us
All right, Councilor Man, before I go to Cole, I just want you to comment a little bit. There's so many things he spoke about. There are a lot of discrepancy in the payroll. The double dipping all over the place. You have professors on the line. They just want to be in the system. I'm not going to say education is obsolete, but when you're training new graduate, they must be prepared for the century that they are in. You can't be teaching me John Kisset book in 2026 and you expect me to produce at a digital level. So Now that your education is obsolete, but it's not proper for the current time, unless of course you retrain. So they got to bring on new professors into the system. But the guys that are in the system, they're blocking everything. Anybody wants to improve the system, they say, where she want proof? The university that play what she want proof, Councilor Man, before I
But
go to
brother,
call.
that is the problem, you know. And it's good. Anybody can go to Lester's page and follow what he said today. And that was what the president said in her interview. Like, look, when we bring people to the job, it's because of their competency and what they're able to produce. I don't care what a political lineage is, because some people may not like his philosophy, ideology, or a political thing, but the work he's employed to do is what he does. All right. You have over 200 people, 280 something people who are long past retirement age. Then they offer in their release, they say them on poho to retirement. When I retire the people, all right. And that is a violation, because you got young people who have returned to university, and that's why he said the government has spent on these young people. Some of them going to get PhD, some of them got double masters to come to build the people sitting down. You can't employ them because people who have reached, and one thing he said, the president said that amongst those people there are some who you can still make use of to build the young capacity. So they will retire them, and the few that still have they are still good for the system, they'll bring them on back as part-time to help build the capacity of the other people, which is normal in every sector, because you can have some 80-year-old people still teaching in a university. But they don't want it at all, that people who have been used to the spoil system. And especially the man say he will give them, each you giving them 1 month notice. We know that you are a full-time employee at the Ministry of Agriculture, for example, and you're a full-time employee at the University of You can't be two full-time employee anywhere else. So we cannot agree. So you have to choose one, that the one they want again. Because the people have been milking the system. And that is why 90% of the budget, can you imagine? They gave the university about 40 something $million, 90% go to salaries. How many people working to that place? They make all that, you know? And the president says, since this reform, they have started to see savings, so they don't even have to go back. And he says, once they do that one, he have estimated as the finance person that it will give them 3 point something million windfall, that they don't even have to go, so they can tap up or employ people and tap up people's salaries that they want, the other people don't want, because they've been benefiting and milking the university from here and here and here. That is wrong. Things got to change, oh. Things have to change. And they know that system, that they will go, they will demonstrate, they will disrupt classes, and then the university president will get frustrated, and then she will leave, and then they will sit down there again. Different person will come. And that's how they've been running the university over years. And I'm saying that has to stop. And the government must support the reform at the University of Liberia, because the reform comes from across board. And I agree with you, Dwalu, finally, that if you can't stand it in the university, leave. We get social professor, you go there, you get somebody who just came out of university, main TA, you go get one small master, you come back, you say professor. Everybody that professor in the university.
One boy you not read before. And yes, another thing. Look, our high schools needs teachers. You can go to the high school level and still teach across the country. Cole, I'm gonna have you come in, but my mother will always say, the solution is in organized chaos. So the people that want to bring the chaos, somebody got to check out the system to fix the system. Cole, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for all my well wishers. I didn't know so many people cared about me. I appreciate it so much. I'm such an introvert and I got so many calls. So I want to thank everybody that called to check on me. I'm well. I listened to Dr. Tenney, and I think he's on point. So the things he mentioned are obvious, and I think it's across the board in a lot of institutions, not just universities, but in a lot of government agencies. I don't agree that learning about John Cazell is obsolete. I think I think universities, are not vocational and technical schools, right? Universities are meant to raise critical thinkers, people who will question things and challenge status quo, investigate and advance new human knowledge. The purpose really of universities is to create thinkers that will advance the cause of humanity. That's far beyond just learning to do something to get a job. So yes, you can go to school, university, and learn something technical. I'm not saying you can't. What I'm saying is that's not the only purpose of a university. So we have to be careful when we downplay people who want to study history or philosophy. They are also useful. So that getting that out of the way, I always wanted to study history. I was discouraged from doing it for exactly the things Dwalu just said. So I've been a renegade history student my whole life. I would never graduate from history school because I'm doing it on my own because of our Liberian mentality. You know, we have very few historians globally that were born in Liberia. Very few. I know most of them personally. That's how few we have. And many of the people we consider historians didn't even study history because of the attitude that Dwalu and many of us have. But no, all jokes aside, I think the biggest challenge I have, or the biggest thing I can say about the university from my observation, is that people think everyone has a right to go there if they're university material or not. And that's not the case. We have to be honest with the population. It's not about, packing people into school and having a lot of people get a substandard education. It's about getting the best and the brightest from across the country and having a good number of people get a quality education. That benefits the entire society. I would rather have 10 Ambrose Mas than 100. It's a contradictions running around. Quality is better than quantity when it comes to education. When it comes to education in the context of a university, everyone has a right to be educated. Everyone has a right to be given skills so they can get a job. But higher education is a right for those who are capable and, most importantly, prepared for higher education. You can't put people in a university that can barely read and write. That is not fair to them. It's not fair to the taxpayers. It's not fair to the society. You can't put somebody in a university just because, it's like that same thing we do with politics. Everybody get right to participate. So we lower the standards and then we increase. So let me just say this very quickly. So UGA, University of Georgia, is one of the best schools in the state of Georgia. It's a public school. Children that can afford to go to Georgia Tech, that can afford to go to Emory, Mercer University, where my daughter attended, they still want to go to Georgia Tech because UGA, because UGA is a massive research institution, publicly funded. So even if you can afford to go to Emory or some other school, many children want to go to UGA. And on top of that, UGA is cheaper than those private schools. But getting into UGA is actually more difficult in a lot of ways, especially depending on what your major is. So a lot of people can't get into UGA their freshman year. They sit for the exam. UGA only selects, they say, we only have this many spots for freshman class. They're not going to take any more than that. Your mom can be governor of the state. If you don't make it, you don't make it. You can be poor and destitute, but you graduated from high school with top honors. Your whole education is free because you beat all these other people, because they have certain grant programs for people who can't afford and people who can afford, even if they did well academically. They are rewarded with scholarships and grants. These are not federal, these are all state specific grants and scholarships. So when kids don't get into UGA, they're like, man, I can get into UGA. But guess what? There are other options. You can go to other schools. There's many other universities to choose from. The same is true for Liberia. If your school can only handle 5,000 students, why are there 20,000 students there? How is that helpful? If your school was built for 5,000 students, you only have the capacity to adequately educate 5,000 people. Why are there 20,000 people there? Why are you downgrading the education system just to be inclusive? It's not effective. Yes, that's correct, G. Your grade point average determines which, and that is true for a lot of schools, not always. It's not an absolute statement. It is true for UGA that I'm speaking of, and in many other things, not just your GPA, but your community service. They look at a lot of things because these kids now, they're so competitive. They all have coming out with 4.0 GPAs. So you got, what else did you do besides get good grades? Where's your community service? Did you volunteer? What did you do to set you apart from other people? So I think from a public policy perspective, the government needs to look at focusing on vocational and technical schools and stop changing our vocational and technical schools into universities when it's not necessary. I think also the University of Liberia needs to have campuses in the various counties instead of having each county have its own university, because each county we have one government, it's a unitary state. There's no sense in having public institutions for each county separate. It should be University of Liberia, Nimbakane campus, University of Liberia, Grand Bassa campus, Grand Jida campus, Bomi campus, and so on. And these different campuses should focus on different technical competencies. Agriculture, technology, spread it out. Spread it out. And then when you graduate, your degree says University of Liberia and it has credibility. It has history. That's all important also when you're applying for graduate school. When you graduate from the University of Liberia versus Nimbakane University, it's not the same. And all these people that are making these policies, they themselves, we all went to school, right? So why are we not thinking about that and applying the things that we went through to educate ourselves to our circumstances in Liberia? Y'all know very well if you apply to grad school at UGA or Emory or Georgia Tech, and it says Nimbakane University versus University of Liberia, it's not going to carry the same weight. And the same government is sponsoring the same schools. Why not just have it be UL Nimbakane campus? Because people want jobs, like Lester Tenney was saying. Because everybody want to be on a board. Every school must have its own president. Because if you break down and say, okay, UL Nimbakane campus, then that means they have one president for the university, even though the campus is separate. Mm-hmm. So this is all about people wanting job and position.
You put a dean for Nimbakane campus, they say, no, that dean thing, a small thing, that small job. They won't be president.
They want to be president. They want to be dean.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally,
when you would have the same resources, the same budget, and more money would be going to the students if you do it that way. And because of there's a collectivity in the resources, you have more ability for those schools to grow, those campuses, to grow and develop. But we're not thinking along those lines. We want to appease everybody. And academia is not about appeasing everybody, no. Especially when it comes to public education. It's about what is in the best interest of the citizens and the republic. So we need to rethink it. We need more technical vocational schools. We need to expand the University of Liberia into the counties and get rid of all of these weird ad hoc universities that we're giving accreditation to without doing the work necessary. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Cole. And additionally, what Cole really meant, it doesn't mean every county has to have a University of Liberia. You can have a sub-region. Maybe we'll get 4 extra LU, but they are regionally placed. So that's the whole point. Because if we do that, it's a focal point. Instead of just having, look, you got university in Liberia, when you go to the campus, I swear, someone in that one bedroom. I know you think I'm joking. The line university, we call it, we were denying our children a lot of things. No, even here in the West. Go ahead.
Even in Liberia, you have the University of Liberia Strauss campus. That's in Sinjay, in Bomi County. That's under the University of Liberia. And what she says is right. And people don't know until it starts to hunt them. You leave the country, you go and they start to evaluate. Because they can evaluate your credentials.
Correct.
All right. Like I came here, I sent my credential to West. They can say, you must send it to this international thing to evaluate. In Liberia, for you to enter the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, you must first have a first degree. So technically it's like a master's degree. In America, no, you can get from high school and go do your JD, which is the law degree, and it's still a first degree. So, but they evaluated it and they said, no, at that level, you're at a master's degree level. So you are not at a BSc degree level. Okay. But these things is that if you go and you put University of Liberia and you put the Nimbakane University, I don't know what kind of people will be checking that system to see. Now they can go look for what Nimbakane or what Grand Jida University is. And she's saying the right thing. But these changes to come, that political thing. everybody made certain time in the country, opening county university became a political issue. So every lawmaker won't pass a bill to open a county university. Whether they have the requisite faculty, whether they have the resources, whether they have the infrastructure, they're not doing it. Everybody want to open it, and it's harming the country, as she said. You get everywhere. Even the senior university students, they were asking the president, why should you write an exam to enter the same university master program when you're coming from undergraduate and you grad? She said, no, but it's not the same. The level to go graduate school is different from what you're doing basically. So people got to assess you whether you are competent or you're ready enough to get into that graduate school. But we don't understand that. And these are professional ways to do these things. Or we believe that everything must be free. And we can call it the massacre. Everything must be free in Liberia. The university must be free. And it doesn't work that way. And I agree with you, Cole, because to the 400 level, I graduated from my first degree. I did political science, classical history, and philosophy. And I love classical history and civilization. And you'll be amazed what it gives you. And she said it right. University is difficult unless the technical courses, maybe accounting or something. But normally university education is to broaden your mind, to think, to be able, it is not, you never get your career from your first degree. Normally,
it is definitely not your first 2 years. And definitely not your first 2 years.
It is to open your mind, to think. That's what university something is about. But people just go and skew there and think that, when you go there, you do history, you'll be amazed what you will use for knowledge. And when you're sitting now, you're analyzing things. Because I did philosophy, people wonder, how you're able. That is what it teaches you. Dwalu.
And not to hog the show, but I just wanted to add to Ambrose's point about general education, your first 2 years of undergrad. I learned more. And first of all, I learned how to learn my first 2 years of undergrad. I learned how to learn. That's very important. I learned how to study, how to learn, how to expand my mind, how to accept new information and contemplate ideas I had never heard before. That's missing in a lot of schools in Liberia. And I'll tell you why I know this. It's because I work with youth. We have to retrain their brains to contemplate new information without resistance. Our young people are taught through shaming them and humiliating them. So when they don't know something or they haven't heard something before, their instinct is to fight and resist it, as opposed to pause and reflect and contemplate it. You post something on social media that someone has not heard before. Their first response is to attack you for posting new information that they had never been exposed to before, as opposed to asking the question, why is this being posted? Does this make sense? Let me ask a follow-up question if I've never heard it before. That's not an accident. That's how people are trained to engage knowledge. That is a problem. And so one of the things we do is we have to reverse that thinking. And we sit down in the class with the young people. We don't allow them to shame each other for asking questions. Imagine people graduate from universities afraid to ask questions because they will be embarrassed or humiliated for not knowing something they haven't been taught. And you didn't give me a chance to say what was on my mind, Wally. So since I got a platform, I want to add what on my mind. I watched a video, and I hope Samukai Brownie, my big brother, I hope you're listening. I watched a video of the recruitment for trainers for the yellow machines. And I was disappointed. I mean, not trainers, but operators for the yellow machines. I was disappointed at the methodology. You bring people in to test them on new equipment that they have never been exposed to, because these yellow machines are more advanced in technology than ones that they have previously seen. The people who are testing them were sent to China to learn how to use I don't know if it was China or where, to learn how to use the machines. The people you're recruiting have never seen these machines. Then you bring them and you're testing them without training them. Is that fair? Is that how we recruit? You're testing them on something they've never seen before without training them. Instead of saying we're going to give them basic vision set tests, find out if they understand these basic mechanical things, and then the complexities of the machine will be trained, we'll teach them, and then after we teach them, we will test them. No. They bring in, you're supposed to know the other one, the other computerized one, you must know it. Y'all do better. Please. Y'all do better with our people. That's what's on my mind. Thank you.
I agree. I agree. They must do better about the machines. Even people that have the skills, when a new machine comes, you can be working for 30 years, you still go to another training session because you got to learn it from scratch. And I want to say this though. Cole, I'm going to start with you with this. It's a little sentimental, but we have to discuss it because it is rampant in Liberia. I don't know if you follow Brenda Moore's page. She posted something today. She did say something. I'm not going to go into detail. Brenda's on the screen about what we do to women in the country. Not because you're a woman, call, but I think you will follow this through properly. What I want to say. Whenever they promote somebody in Liberia, this is with the current DEA, deputy of DEA. People say because she slept with somebody that how she got to the top. This person does this. Tension is peddling this new narrative that people on social media. Some of these things we should not be talking about it, but it's absolutely necessary that we bring it forward because I don't want a woman in Liberia that worked hard for everything she's achieved. And then the assumption is the only reason why they give up minister position is because she slept with somebody. How does that damage our society with this kind of narrative?
So if Stanton brought that up, I find that amusing. You know, that platform was engaged in a sex scandal where they disrespected a woman on that platform and accused her of sleeping with the very Stanton, married woman at that. She was disrespected all over the place. And she sat on the platform and allowed the same thing to be done to another woman for politics. I don't know what it was. She was silent, said nothing. And that is disappointing to me because we have normalized it until it happens to us. Until it happened to me, they ain't wrong. But we must do it to other women. When I was young and working in government, much younger and working in government, everything that I achieved was attributed to all kinds of disrespect. All kinds of disrespect, Wallo. I can't even Ambrose, you're in like bruh. I'm sure you heard all kind of nonsense. People that I looked at to be my brother, my friend. Oh, she loving it that one. That's why she got out of job. You understand? The disrespect. And it's a form of sexual harassment, in my opinion, to reduce women to sex objects, really. That because you're female, your mind, your intellect is discounted. It can't be that this woman is this smart. She loving to somebody. Or maybe she get one guapa in the government and why Ellen keep appointing her. It's not because Call goes hard and works hard and studies her butt off and works her butt off. That's not the reason. It's not because Call goes to work even when she's sick or she's healthy. It doesn't matter. I get up and do what I gotta do. It's not because I have that work ethic. It's because a woman, or at the time they would call me gay, and I wear high heel shoes, so I must be loving to everybody in the government. And most of the people in the government did not even know where I lived. They didn't know anything about me because I'm such an introvert in real life. But it was almost traumatizing. But what I would say to young women that are experiencing this, it's unacceptable. The way I coped with it was to just put on my thick elephant hide, my head up, and continue. Anyway, work through it. Do not be deterred. Do not allow them to reduce you to your genitalia. Do not allow them to crush your spirit. Do not allow them to discount your experience and the hard work you've done to climb to where you are against tremendous odds. Do not allow it. A lot of women, if you see our defense minister, she would not even wear makeup. When I was in government, I used to dress like old lady because the disrespect. Look at what they're doing to the Minister of Youth and Sports. You have representatives running around here wearing red sneakers and tight tear jeans. Nobody will cuss in there because they were men. So Dwalu, again, thank you for bringing it up. I don't want to spend so much time on it, but what I would say is that this is a long-standing issue, and you're right for bringing it up. And I want to personally say, for a woman to sit on a platform and allow that to happen, after especially she, I know personally has experienced it as an educated woman, and not say anything to condemn that behavior is a disgrace to her, and I'm ashamed of her behavior. It's unacceptable.
Thank you so much. And Cole, look, Blair, let me come down to you before I go back upstairs. Look, guys, you in the audience, this is why when we talk about these critical thinking, you have to employ. I'm talking to you directly, to my brother Prince Johnson. I'm going to say this to you. Because I disagree with Cole, it doesn't mean me and Cole got any kind of beef words to speak. Me and Stanton speak more than you will ever know. But what Stanton has done is entirely wrong. This is unacceptable. He needs to stop doing that. Every time a woman rises to a height, that's another thing we do in Liberia. If Dwalu a minister, if I want to give somebody a job, I'm talking from a man's perspective, I would demand to sleep with that girl before I give her the job. Then the day I'm sleeping with her again, I say that girl got a job because she slept with men. We would be the same person promoting that. The point we are trying to make, that I'm trying to make personally, we got to discourage that in Liberia. Let that woman climb. If you want to approach her as a woman, that's a whole different story. But not because on the basis of job. If we got to sleep with our young girls to give them job, we are diminishing them. Then tomorrow we say she only got a job because she slept with somebody, even though she would not have gotten the job if she did not sleep with you. Then when somebody else refused, then we attribute it to everybody else in the country. We got to stop it. Blair, let me hear your position.
Eduardo, you know, people who want to speak on people, I don't know how to describe it, but this guy, is he the person to be talking about people's moral character? The guy who has tinted Liberians' record, the man who holds the man who has entered the Guinness Book of Criminal Records and represent Liberia in that book. In the great history of the United States, when you check that criminal record, this guy is the one who represents Liberia. When we want to, when if we could boast about criminality, and we can stand in front of Americans with Peter our chest and say, go and just send them Waterspoon record. When they see us, they'll say, Tommy. But Liberia is a Liberia get real criminal, tackle criminal that can evade an entire federal government. Even the house that the man lives in, the mattress that he sleeps on, did he buy it with good money? The mattress he sleeps on, the house he sleeps in. If you're not gotten a sweet deal with the FBI, they're going to sweep all of those things from him. But I mean, that's how the justice system works. When they get one person that is able to snitch and get a good deal, they give you a sweet deal. Some of those things, those loots, will be left with you. There's a man that even with own family background and is brought in immorality, will want to sit and look at a woman who have done nothing but to serve her country honorably. And this is not the guy first time. I received a call this evening from somebody, a lady. Call will know the person I'm talking about. He's tried to kind of just dated me before. Today he's in the woman inbox. He wants the woman to go on his show. After trying to insinuate that the person is dead and the person is dead. And he all into people inbox. It's why he does. Because he doesn't know this woman well. He would like to do it to have the woman to crawl on her shore. On his shore. But I'm glad that she's experienced, she's intelligent enough. She must maintain her confidence. Where she is today, the Dwalu, I don't know if you're saying her recruitment photo. Where she came from. Where she came from. Let me see if I can send it to Dwalu. Where she came from is confidence that brought her to that level. Okay? So you cannot look at this woman and want to put her on the chop board. But you know what happened today? I like how women step up. I call it women standing. It was one of the captions I put up today. Women standing. Women stood up today. They went beyond boundaries, beyond political lines. There are some women who even make comments on my post that can call me cross-eye. Today, they were able to not call me cross-eye. Because they stood their ground. That a woman, one man can do, the woman can do. If a man can go and learn PhD, a woman can go and learn PhD. That woman has is of no exception to attain the position that a PhD man can hold because she has a nursing degree in the same sector. So that woman went through security training from recruits, went through the ranks and files. Other men who have held that position before as DDO, they went through security training, sector training. And she went through the same training. Maybe she's gone even above some of her men colleagues that have held that position before her. And so she's appointed today to go on an exceptional level to serve her country. Then you have a criminal mindset, sit on a criminal platform, a man that have not even served an inch or second of his prison term, parading all around the place, causing chaos in the society. But I like how Liberians from all walks of life stood up today. Because those posts I made, one guy called me, Abba is a great researcher on social media. I pumped him from the behind today 2 different times. He asked that the guy has a very thin skin. Because I know he picking and can call me and say, my man, CEO say Molin. He doesn't call directly. He got a very thin skin. And I know how to get to him. And I can tell him, anybody, I promised the last time that we will go professional on the politics. But anytime you make an attempt to go personal on an individual, most especially a lady, then we have a different ball game to play because at that point, I can become ruthless.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you so much. Mo, welcome to the show. Perfect timing, Mo. Perfect timing. I love the time you came in. Before I go to Council of Mine, Abraham, but I love the time because your topic is actually next. But I want to come to before I come to you, Council of Mine. I want to highlight it. This is coming from the EPS director. This is what he wrote in response to what Stanton said about him. He said, Miss Precious Rue, chief of Lee War of the LDA, was interviewed by a presidential committee appointed to review and restructure the LDA. She has been vetted by the Americans and she has extensive experience with training in police and drug law enforcement. I met her for the first time during the committee's engagement at LDA headquarters. My second encounter was recently at the burn site of the 4 ton of cocaine. More importantly, she was vetted and passed an integrity and stability test. Her selection by the president was based on merit. I don't even have a personal relationship with Ms. Rue. Political rejects go on Spoon TV every night and spew lies. A qualified woman must sleep with a man in order to get a job. This is what's wrong with a male-dominated society. Congratulations, Ms. Rue. Godspeed. This is what is coming from the director of EPS. He said that thing basically in Liberian lingo, that nonsense. Councilor, Councilor Man, then we'll go to my brother Abraham.
You know, I don't think this is about chauvinism. I may be wrong, but I don't think this is about chauvinism. I think it's some complex, because it even happens both ways. Normally, people speak from their own experience, their own shoes. Many people in Liberia, where they find themselves today, they didn't merit it. So they believe that's how everybody gets what they want get. Many people, look, it started, as I said, it started from President Sirleaf's time. How people started to insult. That's how the media became a tool, a platform for insults. When people started raining insults, people started getting jobs and getting rewards because people thought it was very rude. So it started from there. People started to reward people because of certain things. So if you don't merit, because I don't believe anybody of their worth, their salt, who merits whatever they achieve in life, will ever look down on somebody else because they know that they work the way up, others can work the way up. But because many people don't work the way up, they don't believe other people can work the way up. Now, going to extend with women, the same thing with people, they say, oh, the man got a job because he know the person, oh, because other person brought him, other person did this, other person did this, and that is complete foolishness. All right. But these people, look at the people who always make these statements. Look at where they come from. Even what they say they achieve, look at it if they achieved it on merit. I read something also about this lady from, Mo Ali's best friend, my older brother, Sam Jackson, and talk about the person still in school. Then you point, what is the qualification for the DEA deputy director? And work experience, qualification, getting academic degree doesn't mean you're qualified to do a particular job. It doesn't mean you're qualified to do a particular job. And people don't evaluate, and that is how come even in political settings, we elect all sorts of people because we don't look at people's track records, where they come from. How did they get to where they are today? Today, Dwalu, I'm very pleased not only with the lady that has been appointed to that very important position, because I say that position is not an administrative position, it's operational. She is the field agent. As a matter of fact, Daniel Zianga is the boss man that's supposed to sit down in the office. And maybe that was one of the problems that Abraham Krumah and his deputies had with Fadiga. And I have said it because Abraham used to being the operational man out in the street. He didn't give the operation man the chance to do his work. He was out in the field doing the other man's work and carrying everybody behind him. But she has that greater responsibility. So the crackdown on the drug menace in Liberia now rests on her shoulders. The question we should ask is she capable enough to do the job? Where does she come from? What is the track record? What builds her up enough to do the job? And when Liberian people starts this, Dwalu, the next thing is that they start looking at your faults. People will start looking for small things you will slip and say, I will tell you she ain't about the job. And they always look for your mistakes now, instead of looking at propping this person up, helping her to do what she's supposed to do for the country.
Yeah.
They will start to pull her down. Look for maybe start going by that picture they may want to say, they'll tell you, say, oh, the time she was a small girl, she was this or that. They put all the negative strings.
Yeah.
Why do we do this? The president also recently, just 3 days ago, appointed a lady to a position in the central bank. And I stand to be corrected, but I think that's the first lady that held that deputy governor for economic policy. I don't know her too much. I don't know her very well. Euphemia Monia, I think her name is. I don't know her very well. I don't know her background. But what I do know is that the immediate past deputy governor for that position is my brother, Dr. Musa Dukli, who served there for 7 years. I know what it takes to occupy that position. I know the qualification and the quality you must possess as an economist and everybody to occupy that position. So for President Baka to find a Liberian woman to put in that position, it means that he has found somebody really who have stood up to the time. These are the things that we're supposed to congratulate.
That's right.
When whether you're a woman or you're a man, you're a Liberian, when you step up to do a certain job for the country, these are the things that we must be proud of. I know what it takes to do that job. So not knowing her, but for the president to have that confidence to put her there, I won't say that, oh, we got another woman and maybe she know the governor, she knew this person, the person might handpick her and put her there, because you don't handpick people and just put them to that kind of position that is, especially the success that the central bank is making nowadays. So it tells me, whether women or men, we have Liberians now who are schooled, qualified, competent, and ready to move our country forward. But yet we have Liberians who have benefited from the spoil system to try to pull all of them down. I think it's unfortunate. And as Carl said, for other people to sit there and you look at your rep. What moral rectitude do you have to look at and even discuss people's lives when you were discussing Fallujah on your own program? What morality? No, it's serious. What do you want to throw stone? How many of us here are perfect in this whole country that you want to throw stones at other people? All right. So instead of helping our people to go forward, right now, all we are doing is pulling down. And that's why yesterday I made reference to the same post that Amar Kone made. Oh, we congratulate the president for appointing Zianga, but that thing doesn't help anything. Then why are you congratulating him if it doesn't make any difference?
Thank you.
If it doesn't make any difference, then why are you congratulating him? If you know that only changing the head, it doesn't solve the problem, then why are you congratulating him for changing the head if it doesn't solve the problem? So that somebody who want to please people here, but they bite and blow, and bite it on this side, then you blow on that side. You can't do that. You can't do that, especially as a sitting senior government official. You can't do that. You must encourage these people, these young people who have come to government, encourage them to do their best. That this country is challenged. And as the president has gotten confidence in you, we ask you to live up to your best. We ask this woman not to wear skirt, to be there as a man, because that world you are going in is a jungle with drug pushers, drug traffickers. Money will be flashed at you. We expect you to be strong, put on your armor, and we'll support you. That is what we're supposed to be telling her, rather than just trying to put it on Facebook every time and demoralize her. If that lady, I believe, had not gone to a lot of training, all through everywhere, building herself, maybe she would have collapsed under this pressure. But I believe it doesn't even touch her one bit, because that part of the thing making you a police officer. She went through all those trainings, and she's where she is. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of the lady that has been appointed at the central bank, and any other person who can do the job in Liberia. Once you are a Liberian, we need Liberians to build our country. Nobody else coming from anywhere to build our country for us. So don't be with the other people who are looking for the international friends. Since they were bringing the international friend to do the thing here, I don't know what happened to their friends. They ain't be shit. We might not look for nobody else. We will fix it ourselves. It is our country, and we got to fix it ourselves, Dwalu. And everybody come. When you try your own, you can't make it. We tell you, say, Papa, you try, you can't make it move. We'll put somebody else there. That's how we're supposed to build our country.
Thank you, Councilor Mom. We're going to come to you, Ibrahim. But before I forget to now, I want to wish my wife happy 20th wedding anniversary, 25 years and running. Big shout out to you, Clara Jordan Dwalu, for sticking it with me. All the doors.
Happy anniversary, Bobs.
Yeah, today, man, 20th wedding anniversary. Ibrahim, let's come to you. Let's hear you. Wedding anniversary today, right, Ibrahim? Are you married?
No. No, I'm married, but
oh, okay. All right, brother. Okay, welcome, man. Your take.
Yeah, but on a serious note, you see, when I listen to Stanton making a larger statement on this young lady who have built her record, the record speaks for herself. The record speaks for itself. This lady is not just any kind of woman that just passes around. They went through the rank and file of the LDA and the police, our national police. That woman have been into riots. All right, the woman have come to the United States for training. So but yeah, this is just what I just want to say. I think this is the time that the Ministry of Information need to send a strong caveat to all of the radio stations. By you making such a claim, such a statement, and you don't have a fact for it to be able to back your statement that you made, it has the propensity for this lady to be ruled down, and when we are not careful, this Stanton guy, he is almost reaching to Radio Kigali. So we need to be careful on this kind of man in our society, but right for the virtue of the fact, Stanton is not supposed to be around a microphone at this point. A man who is a crook, a man who is a criminal, not just been a crook, but a criminal. He is not supposed to be near a microphone at this point. But hey, this thing that he making, this statement that he just made, it will just keep making that lady strong because I know her to be someone whose statement does not deter her. She's not deterred by any kind of flashy statements. And this lady, it is not just for our president, the president that I have so much confidence in. For the president to be able to appoint this lady, that means that the lady have gone through the order of the vetting process. And for you to be part of the vetting panel, for you to be part of the vetting panel, those that vetted this lady, it means that they have so much confidence and trust in her. That's the reason she is now been appointed as the LDA for operations. And I can say more because this lady, I trust her and I believe that they will do well with Chief Zanga team. I strongly believe that they will deliver. That's what we should be saying here. But coming to be making certain statements that don't have no iota of facts, that don't have no backing. I just believe that next time to be careful before his radio station be shut down. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think it's going to get shut down. Mo, I don't know if you've been following the conversation. If you want to make a comment or two, yep. If you want to make a comment or two before we go on to the next one.
No, I just want to make a comment or two. I want to talk on this thing.
Okay, talk on it because, yes, go ahead, talk on it.
All right, so let me say first, good evening to everyone. You know, this notion did not start today. Anytime when you were young as a gentleman and got a job, then you were gay, then you slept with Rawa Salif. That's how they made all gay in the town here. I'm even surprised this time they're not telling me say I'm gay. You know, that's what Ambrose there is a witness. Oh, all the young boys and Rawa Salif with all of them. That's how they getting job. Like we are never qualified to get job. And most of the people who can see those things, we're way more educated than them, even in our younger ages. So this time, I mean, that time, and when a young woman gets a job, she slept with a man. You don't even know the lady they call Precious Rule. I've been knowing her for a long time. For a long time. The only thing I left was the AR sources that time there when they threw. Or do I process that pressure there went through the tear guy on the AR sources? So a bit joking or pressure you gotta pay for our sausage and our bread. She say your sausage will expire. Your sausage will expire. Plenty of it will not go. So they want what tasting. But on a serious note, Precious joined the DEA as a cadet in 2013. And she spent 3 years as a cadet. And then she went for her training at the academy and graduated on October 29, 2016. So when you put it together, Precious has been in the DEA for 13 years. Precious has done extensive external training in Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and the US. And she's also planning to go for training again in South Africa, in Argentina. Precious has been cleared to graduate from the AME Zion University with a BSc in Law Enforcement and Public Administration. Somebody says she had to sleep with someone to get her job. They had a committee of respectable people. They've been vetting for DEA heads for the last 6 months. I know this because I speak with the people all the time. For 6 months, they've been vetting. As a matter of fact, most of the people on the committee did not even know Precious. The men who they are accusing of loving to her, they not even know her. The first time seeing her was when they just call her out of the clear blue sky and say, bring your CV. And she went through that vetting process. I don't know what's wrong with the mindset of people. Every day, women people come or women right people, they talk, they talk, they talk. The next thing somebody will jumbo. It's like to say we get wax in our ears. Why would somebody always think that someone has to give their body up in order to get a position? Why? You always find fault when someone is appointed, particularly a lady. That's terrible. And people with those kind of mindsets, you know, most time they are perverts. And the people with those mindset, they are the one who can do those things. You know, we cannot be all the time suspect of other people. Ask the lady for her profile. This woman training in the US, she trained and got a certificate on dismantling international criminal network. That's the training she did in the US in 2025, dismantling international criminal network in DC. In Senegal, she trained in strengthening coordination to combat transnational organized crime. Then one fool over person and they say, she even get degree. You never had degree, you were passing all around the player working, faking people, faking papers.
You're not going up here.
The one degree you get, that 9-month degree. So yeah, but this is somebody who has gone through a whole lot of training. Drug trafficking training, special law enforcement, and all these kind of things. Then he said, no, man, the woman is supposed to be there because she graduated. While she's doing all this training, she's also going to school. She is also going to school. What you want to do? I bet if it were a man they put over there, they will not be saying all those things. Or the person that they made girlfriend. Okay, let's agree that they made girlfriend. For the sake of argument, you read her profile. Is she not qualified for the job? People, you know, that mindset, and I heard that my man Stanton started it. And I know what place he can get information from sometimes. I really don't know. Somebody has to do something. Eddie Johnson time we were gay. This time they're not gay again. Small children doctor. The next time he will be old people doctor. The next time he will be woman lapper. Then I will go back to being gay. That's all. You know, and that mindset is so terrible. It's the same way people think in this country, because it started during CDC time, that government officials are not educated people. They are political sycophants. You get appointed position because you think I will say. Representative DB told me that. You know, I'm a member of the EPA Policy Council. And when we went in our first Policy Council meeting to set up the board, they needed a professional person on the board who has idea on the environment. So my colleague Nito nominated me. And Representative DB was like, no, they not say politician, they say professional. So Nito asking, you think I don't know the person I nominated?
The man know to be politician, know to be professional.
Instead, they don't say politician, they say professional. So I told him, I said, the way your CDC bastardized appointment in this country, appointment was bad. The loudest I would say, we're bringing things back to normality. Before getting the degree, a master's degree in water sanitation and health engineering, I did a full diploma course in environment and sustainable development at the university at Tongji University in China. And I've worked in all of these sectors. So the IRCDC thing I used to do, then he sat down there and I really enjoyed myself last year. And he can't tell about it. So for them, politician, that stupid people, you can only sing I will say, then you become politician. Don't wonder why they drag their country backward. It's the kind of thinking now they have. So for young guys graduating from being gay in any time because they appointed you or you got some kind of job, now is women who are appointed, they must sleep with men. You look at a professional woman going through all of these trainings, experience 10 years as a DEA agent, 10 years, 3 years as a cadet, 13 years. In many places, they can ask for 5 years experience. She doubled that. Then you say she got to sleep first. Anybody who say those things, and that the people who can really do it, when women go look for a job to them, they put that before you. You got to sleep with me before I give you the job. Anybody. Samuel Jackson talking about the woman even graduate here. You are 9 years, you are 9 months BSc. Do they give you job here? 9 months BSc. 9 months.
Moye biso, bababe. Like biso,
Happy anniversary to you and Mrs. Dwalu.
Yeah, thank you so much. But more, I want you to. Well, I'm sticking with you here. I saw some seditions making mockery or something you said, and I decided to cut the video. And for Liberian people to understand, we have to put this in context. From 2003 to 2024, we only gave 5% of the country water. That means for 21 years, we were only able to give 5% of the Liberian population water for 21 years. And from 2024 to 2026, Mo Ali said he has increased the water from 5% to 9% with the expectation next year to go to 10%. That means on 3 years, there is a possibility Mo will also increase the water provision to the country by an additional 5 percentage point. So again, for 21 years, we only got 5%. And then for another the year, we're getting 5%. They say more than working. How does that make more? And more, I'm going to explain to us what Liberian put. But let me play the video first. The video that I saw the men are talking about today. Let me play it first.
When Mr. President and members of the cabinet, when we took over in 2024, our pipe-borne water supply to the population was a little over 5%. At the moment, pipe-borne water supply has increased to 9% of the population, and by next year we'll hit 10% as we are constructing water facilities in counties. We've completed Bupulu and connecting homes. By the end of December, we would have completed.
So, Mo, let me ask you a question. What a difference, because according to my brothers on the other side is saying 5% and not any number. Can you make it make sense to us? Because we, the laymen, I don't understand water provision. We don't understand what 5% mean. So let me give it to you. I'm thanking you.
So, Dwalu, the first problem is because people took over and they did nothing, and in their mind, because they did nothing, nobody else can do anything positive. We in 2025 alone, Just in Monserrado, we connected over 5,000 homes. Over 5,000 homes. I'm not saying people. And if you just multiply that by a household size, an average household size of 5%, you will know how many persons gained access last year alone to pipe-borne water supply. And we extended, we're doing more connection in Sanikole, more connection in Vonjama, more connections in Rabosport, in Bopolo. For them, everything is an impossibility because they don't understand it. Every time we connect a home, we track it. Every time we connect a home, we track it. So the entire thing about pipe-borne water supply is not a difficult thing. For example, Plibo has 65,000 people living there or more. When we finish constructing the system by December, we are connecting 350 homes. But also, the entire population of people will now have access and the opportunity to get pipe-borne water in their homes. Same thing with Zwedru. Same thing with Greenville. We put our time, we don't just work, we collect data, we analyze them. It's the same thing when I said 76% of the population has access to basic water supply. They jump around. So you say everybody get water in their homes. You don't even know in our own sector when we use phrases, they mean different things. When in the water sector, they tell you guys safely manage water supply, it means you get pipe-borne water. That means the water runs through the pipe straight to your house. When they say you get safely managed water supply, that's it. When they say you get access to basic water supply, that means, number one, the source of the water must be good. Number two, the collection time should not exceed 30 minutes. So, for example, we are building water system in Plibo. Besides connecting homes, we will have public kiosks so that those who can afford to get the water in their homes, they will have access to the kiosk, and that the collection time will be far less than 10 minutes. That entire group that will have access to that will calculate them and put them in the group that has access to basic water supply. That's how it works. The 2024-25 report says our access to basic water supply has increased to 79%. That's why, Dwalu, the incidence of diarrhea and all those kind of common running stomach thing there has reduced significantly in the country. You listen to the Bopolo video, the woman said, we drink the water this time, our stomach now running, and all the kind of things. That's the importance. People don't understand it. For them, nothing can happen positive because during that regime, nothing happened positive. That's it.
So, Councilor Ma, let me just come to you a little bit. I know you're not a water person, but if somebody can increase the water output in the country, for 21 years, we only got 5% provision across the country. And on 3 years, somebody is taking it to a 9% across the country. Now, the argument is not whether this is done. The argument is more basically they say you have not done anything. 5% are wetting. This is the argument. And before even Councilor Man comes in, I want you to tap because the whole thing they were saying here, mostly only the 5%. I mean, we're not doing nothing. So my thing was, if for 21 years we only would do around 5%, and for only 3 years somebody does 5%, how is that not anything? That's the argument we're having, that 5% is nothing. That means you have not done anything. So in terms of water provision, because if you're saying okay, so let me ask a question another way more. Since you came to power, approximately how many households have you given water across Liberia? On mute.
So Dwalu, in our first year, we connected a little over 3,000 households.
Homes. They're not individual homes.
No, they're not individual homes.
Homes. Okay.
Last year we connected over 5,000. This year we've already exceeded 2,000 mark.
Okay.
Of connection through the country. So what it means is that we have done over 10,000 homes in the country, and that is not included in the number of public kiosks that we've built, rehabilitated, and make them functional, created access for people. So that's over 10,000 homes.
Okay. All right.
Multiply that by 5 or 6.
Correct. Okay. Councilor Mom, your take on this water issue? Because if we went from 5% in 21 years and then on 3 years, we are pushing 10%. I think that's a tremendous growth. Now, I hear somebody here, Alvin Thomas say the water sector is one of the most underperforming sector. I don't know what he mean by underperforming. People just come and spew these things without giving you any information as to why they're taking that position. In many cases, it's entirely political. But let me hear your take on what Mo just said.
So somebody like that would say something because it is not because he's speaking for what actually happens in Liberia, is because you think he's getting at Mo Ali. That's the simple reason, and that's from a political perspective. But Tualu, this is just what Carl was talking about, and myself were talking about education, enlightenment. People think when you know how to read and write, you're educated. So Mo couldn't have made it any simpler. So Dualu, and I'm not using the statistic Mo Ali just made, but if you say since 2005 to 2014, water, which is a basic necessity for survival, for human survival, if in the entire country you had maybe only, say, 10,000 homes in the entire country, or let's say 5,000 homes in the entire country connected through the water program, the national water source, and those 5,000 homes was focused only in some part of Monrovia, then from 2005 to 2014, imagine the number of years. You have only 5,000. Then from 2014 to 2024, from 2024 to 2026, 2 years, you have, say, 20,000, now 20,000 homes added to that 5,000, so that's 25,000 now, from 2024 to 2026. But it's not only in Monrovia. Now you have it probably in Bapolu. You have it in Zwedru. You have water flowing in Greenville. Then someone says, if it takes you almost 20 years to connect only 5 homes, somebody comes, it takes them 2 years to add 10,000 more homes or 20,000 more homes in 2 years. What you haven't done in 5 years. Then you say the person who did it in 2 years didn't do nothing. So first, they tell you the level of thinking of that individual. Number 2, people sit down and think that Monrovia is Liberia. People think that I heard this thing one time when the public works minister was on one of the radio stations, and one of the persons, Adam CDC person, called and said, Maria, they still got all the corners, they got road problem there, taking road to Grand Crew, to the other places. I said the people who live there, they're not human beings, they're not Liberians. There's a video that Mo posted in the chat room about the road from Plebo to Barkleyville. Cars couldn't go to Barkleyville of late because that road, and that's the only road now, because to go through Sino is not an easy thing. See how that road has been smooth now, and the person took that video on Monday. Monday was the 10th, right? August 10th. Took that video driving a bike from Plebo to Barclayville. People say because Monrovia may be somewhere in Johnsonville or some road in Puebla, why are you going to build the road from Plebo to Barclayville because the road in Puebla ain't finished? So for me, it is not worth my time to respond to these kinds of people. Okay, if someone tells you that access to water, clean water, has now increased, it is not fiction. On the same platform, we saw what happened in Bopolu. They have the water kiosk that people can go to the water kiosk, open the pump, draw the water, and carry it to their homes. But apart from that, they have the water that now they run the pipe in people's home. And I have said in my lifetime, it's the very first time I've seen pipe in a mud house. And the person who owned a mud house, old lady, and she said she will pay her water bill because now she get her pipe right in her house. You know, she can open the pipe, pour a bucket there, close it. In her house, she ain't got to seize the children football again for going there. That has never happened in the whole Bapolu County, let alone Bopolu City, for that to happen to somebody. Now she got clean drinking water. Somebody in Monrovia sit down, or somebody sitting down in America, or somebody sitting down in Asia, or somewhere in the diaspora, because of politics, believe that is nothing. Go tell that woman, that old lady, or those women who were in Bopolu right now, go tell them that water they brought had nothing for them. Go tell the people in Grand Jide, in Zwedru, that the water system that they put there is nothing for them. So that is why I said people don't look at what needs to build on. Every nation to be where you are, you don't build in one day. And President Bouaka will never build Liberia where it's supposed to be in his lifetime because it's not possible. One president cannot do it. But everybody got to come stand on it, recognize this is where we are, and build and go up until we reach where we want to be. But for some people, the negativity is still in their mindset. So they are not listening. People are not listening. Once something comes on the ticket, and that's how this whole Daniel Sano thing turned something up. People are not listening. They didn't listen to what Sano said. But once they pick it up, they get picked one word, 2 words out of it. For them, that is what it is. Then they play politics with it. You're not listening. And to have a very fruitful conversation with people, you must have people who can listen, think, decipher, and then can be able to respond. Then they meet you on that level. So anything people want to say, whether they say Moran doing work, he's not doing nothing, he just sitting down over there, that is up to them. Our duty is to show, and that's why I congratulated him, and I said to all the other people in the AID that what Mo Ali is doing, if he can professionally find the money, the resources in his institution to get those professional guys to be going to all those places and putting that video up, if the other people can do it so that we can professionalize it and see what is happening in the development, okay. The photo speaks for itself. Lead the rest of the people. They will play politics. Some people you will not convince them. You talk, you mind it from now to Judgment Day. It is the Liberians who come here who want to know what is happening in our country tomorrow. What can give us hope for our country tomorrow? That is the people we're speaking to. But the other people who don't see anything and they think that they can't join the platform because they think that they will be posting negative thing and then we'll respond to it. I'm not going to waste my time to them, value. So I think that is a marked improvement from getting 5% over those number of years, and then just in 2 years adding 4% on top of it, which means you have already almost double what they have done in 15 years. You have done it in 2 years. That's a marked improvement. That's somebody be saying that they say, "Water not to mama point." You might not go take draw bucket and go draw water somewhere and carry the oil.
Yeah, and additionally, people must understand if you give more than $100 million, you can do plenty things. So yeah, we won't work every day, but the priority that money, and even while people sitting down and say nothing is being done, our people in the interior, I think they think it's
just one thing. Even if Mo had right now, bank vault of $1 billion. It is not possible to just construct the entire network you need.
The entire country is not possible.
If you get all the money right now, if we get all the money we need, Liberia, say Liberia right now, we get $200 trillion. You think you get build Liberia skyscraper? You get build the whole country down in one day? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So people should not think that kind of thing there.
So as we continue to talk more and more, Blair, I'm going to come to you. Harry, start making preparation. I want people in the interior. I think this is rural Nima. They're carrying lead wire today. Y'all look at them. They put it on care, but I think what do you want to mean? They put in happy current coming today. Y'all watch it.
That's crazy.
That's very true. Okay, it's very true. Thank you so much. And yes, another one guy was just driving on the road. We know we need quota road everywhere, but look at the contrast.
This is the road leading from Plebo, Maryland County to Barclaysville, Granville County. Today is August 10th. I'm riding from Barclaysville to Plebo, Maryland County. This is the current condition of the road. Do not be deceived. We want to appreciate President Walker that today in August, after 6 years in August, taxis is still running on Granville to Maryland Road during the rainy season.
Now, let me come to go to the phone line. We're not saying we want quota, but I want you to contrast the thing all there before. Now, what they got a thing or two? Black.
Dwalu. You know, I sent you something. Please just put it on the screen.
You know, Blair,
what?
Yeah, but Blair, you see that road? That road, let me just say something. You see with that condition in present day, from Plebo to Barclayville would take you about an hour 15 minutes. But that road we used to travel on used to take us almost 8 hours from Plebo to Barclayville. I get what I wanted to say.
Let me just add
the most recent, which one, the girl?
Really?
No, the road you just show. When that road was bad, it used to take us about 8 hours to get from Plebo to Barclayville. But now with that condition, it takes you 1 hour because the road is about 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes to get from Plebo to Barclayville. But when the road bad, it takes you almost 8-9 hours to get there.
Go ahead, Cole.
So when I worked for Land Commission, shortly after President Salif took over, we couldn't even drive on the road. We had to take a helicopter. True story. Helicopter to go to Barclayville. Helicopter. We've been through a lot as a country. We need to appreciate how far we've come. And I also want to say more, you know, do not be deterred. Focus forward and get your work done. We have to measure progress by two things. The starting point has to be considered when you're measuring progress. You cannot measure something without looking at the starting point. Right?
Absolutely.
Progress is measured from the depths the depths from which we've come. Progress has to be measured by the depths from which we come for us to properly analyze how far we've come. Because you can travel 10 miles in a forest and a half a mile on a road. It doesn't mean you only went a half a mile. You have to also consider that you had to go through that forest for 10 miles before you can even reach the road. Mo Ali has reached the road. So continue what you're doing, our brother.
So Dwalu, please put that on the screen for me. One of the persons
which one you sent me several, the most recent?
The one from Samuel Jackson.
All right, be talking.
One of the people who is benefiting from the 5%, that Mo Ali. So the old man have been saying Mo Ali is doing nothing, but the old man have promoted Mo Ali on Nunto is, you know.
Y'all get me talking about Babel. But be going ahead. Be talking a little bit.
So the papi said, I living in my mom's house, and the deal was sweet. I what? My eyes, my people. I can use my 7 toilets. He said his 7 toilet can flush. So if you say, Muali, you working, eh? How water go in your house to flush your 7 toilets? Is it so?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, the rating showing, but the rating all the way on. Yeah, that. He said, I am living in my man house, Iwa suite. I can use any of my 7 toilet and all can flush. So Muali, you must tell your papier, let you start causing the house behind you because
Let him breathe.
because
Let me bring them the screen. No, that Papa Desi get it well. I'm more than what though. Let me tell you first. Well, start making preparation, yeah, Harris. While you're making preparation, let me allow you, Jim Fagon, to remind the people of Liberia that people government here. We never release much government. You, Jim Fagon, holla out for a second.
They get their big mouth. Small children government and not people government. This government and people government. They're not Carrasco government. They're not Mamasi Kaba government. They're not Finabono government. Small children. When they wear the slap beat men in the ear, they're not government. The old men running yet. That's why you don't hear about red shortage, fuel shortage. No money in the bank. Now people here. A big man. Something wrong with you? Small children government. 3 weeks to go to Zwedu. Big people government. 8 hours you in Zwedu. I challenge you to say that lie. For last year they took over January. They really see that kind again. We never saw it last year. We will not see it this year. And guess what? The yellow machines they ain't even touched down yet. Big people.
I'll leave that over. People government. What's up? My brother Harris, I'll take some calls from our people from back onto the radio stations, man. Thank you plenty for joining us. It is Liberia today, tomorrow, and always. Let's continue to elevate this country. Now, all our responsibilities, not just the presidencies alone. Everybody got to put their hand around Liberia. We can be political, whatever we want, but at the end of the day, we got to live Liberia. Harris, let's hear from our people from across the country. You're muted, Harris.
We'll go to the lines and take your calls tonight. 0778-665-699. 0778-665-699. 080-561-644. 080-561-644. 0778-665-699. 0776-293-620. 0776-293-620. This person, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, good evening, Harris. How you doing?
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to appreciate all of the panelists on the show tonight for the deliberation tonight. I've been listening to the show. This is my first time calling on the show. I'm waiting about calling for Ovinga. Yes, I just appreciate all of you for your tireless effort towards the development of the school. None of you should be deterred about this the strata that I want to destroy you guys from what you are focused on. I just want to appreciate all of you. The government is working tirelessly to the growth of this country. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Leave you take more calls. 0778-665-699. 080-561-644. 0776-293-620. 0776-293-620. 080-561-644. And 0776-293-623. This person, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
My name is Moses Gadiru. Well, first I want to say thank you to all the panelists. They don't. They used to say 2 weeks to go back in there and come back. But I mean, I'm quite impressed. And there is one thing that was I was struck by one of the panelists on the show that I mean, as much as the government is doing well, communication should not be an afterthought. And the example is with and he's putting so much in it, not as much as his social media invested too, but he's also giving a space for the public to understand exactly what's happening in his institution. When it comes to notifying the public of shortage of water, repairs, policies, the institutional measures, capacity building, I think it's something that all institutions will need to emulate. And I want to say thank you so far to what's happening in this country. I know people can be very mad at me, and maybe other people that know me, but this knows the mobility report in Liberia. I think Billy Bryan, Helen Johnson, Sonny, George Weah, and President Buaka, I know exactly what it takes in terms of when the government is running or it's not running. And I can feel for the fight that, this government is on course.
Okay.
It can only get better.
Thank you. Thanks so kindly, Moses. We'll leave you this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm calling from my people resident. Let me say thank you to the panelists on the radio on the show this morning. See, ladies and gentlemen, something is creeping into our society and needs serious attention, and that is hate messages being spread by a particular spoon network. Last night, I want to mention if you listen to Sam Johnson, the former senator for Bonney County. They said on the show that if it means that we'll go to religious war, we will fight. Just imagine, and he made us statement, nobody on his own show. I expect that to that of problem with the foul president, I cut it to have post talk to that, and nobody talk about it. This is what happened in Kigali, in Rwanda, that escalated the war. And this is where we are going. And Liberia, in this platform, have never bring it to the attention of the international community. Something needs to be done. But else sometime one day, the citizens will get vexed and we want to save themselves from that and we turn the other way around.
Okay.
That's what I want to say.
Thank you. We hope that we don't go that route. This person, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel. You should be a call from Monrovia.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I want to say thank you very much for the show. Thank you for all the panelists on the show tonight. And these are some of the information we'd like to hear. Even though there are some of our friends from the other side who don't like to hear good development into Liberia. That's why I told them, why you feel it's between 6 years, you expect for somebody to do it in 2 3 years back. Now, they all were saying, or they were still saying that they're looking for rescue. Why I get rescue people? I said when you cross the water, I show my hand. You see to hold my hand, come here. You say I rescue you. So some of you were on the program and you said that you did a rescue. I mean, take almost 1 million for in your first 6 years. 1 million for other property in your first 6 years, you feel. And even Chairman to admitted that he had a fire on the thousand people on the property list. Still, you see, you're coming back. Coming back to our number 5,000. And you go to the say, oh, you say you're going to do it. You're saying I'm not doing it correct. Okay, we agree. But you're getting that you didn't do it correct. You say we're more correct. Then why can't I do our number 5,000? Then we have road going to Gregor, our former president, who say he has the country at heart. So even live in Gregor for even 2 months, what other people always interact to have shop. You places in a place live there, all he does is to live in America, come back and go welcome me. So these are questions.
Okay.
They don't want for the women to surpass them.
Thank you. We'll leave you. This person is on. Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's
Good
hear
evening,
it.
how are you? My name is Noah Zhao Gibson. And I'm phoning tonight from my Plainfield District number 2 freeway Montserrat resident. You know, listen, I want to speak specifically to this Amara Conan issue with Daniel Son. And I will say this, as I stated on my show last night. If Amara Conan could look at an old man like Joseph
Joseph Wakai, who will be in the two God's help this November, and says to him that he has no independent thinking as it relates to how he runs the country. Traditionally, in our African culture, if you said that to an old man like Joseph Wakai, it's an insult. It's an insult. But nobody running with that one, unless John Daniel Sano, who responded professionally and said, for saying such a thing, you got to go to the mosque for confession, as if you expected Daniel Sano to say that Amara Kone is supposed to go to the church when Amara Kone, does a religious belief does not extend to the church in terms of belief. We know open to the church. But let me say this. Something about Amara Kone that some of you have not understood. Amara Kone is completely disappointed and regretting on one thing, that is the dominance he had in Madam Sari government, the influence he had, where if he wanted anything, he would tell Madam Sari that, look, there is this one that must be done, and Madam Sari would have listened to him. He is not having that kind of dominance with the woman. Okay. Because JLB is not that kind of person you can control. So because he feels that he not really take on things as it's supposed to be, so he will do everything to get that kind of attention, and he's not going to work with us. This man disrespected his president, who was our president, and cut his budget by 50% when he was finance minister. The old man did not say anything about it because he's not the kind of person who makes noise, or he doesn't, believe in flamboyancy. He disrespected his government, the old man, for a very long time. He orchestrated the rigging of that 2017 election by that the artillery skill, while we plunged the country into a mess. Today we're struggling to clean a mess. Then he comes and says things only because of his self-interest or his self-aggrandizement. And we're not going to tolerate that. We will not tolerate that. So he can let him talk frustratingly any way he wants to talk. We will pay that again for the now. Let him carry that artist skill back and see whether it will rig election for CDC. Let him carry back to CDC again.
Thank you. Thank you. Leave you this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello, let's hear you.
Thank you so much to my cool family in the studio. The white people, the Labrador, anyway, in the daughter, the Franco, for the United Party Election Bureau Franco. Thank you so much for more things to Toronto. Happy anniversary to Toronto. So let me tell the people, I always tell the people that this president I can no opposition. You cannot say on phone there where if you call me, now what will help you? What was one for my mom? Every story that Musa said, CNC, what CNC come? They put CNC in the party, you will get pure. You know the modality, you can talk about it. We got to fight the country, the open question, and thank you, Sanga. Thank you so much. Do the work for the Labrador people. So all the people have planned. The rest of the Labrador machine. Look, we move on here. We are in here. When they come to your country, you will not get for the job, wake up from there. But you honor cafe. So the people starting people, the people believe it. They put themselves on school now when they call it. They are not correct. Ah, but you try to promise to power. Then you jump up. They stand in front of us on that. With the contract fee, more said on that. Is that where we pay? Come back to the bar and repair. You roll, you call it over there, someone will phone you. Then I hope you don't say that. Take to the one who he said, well.
Okay.
He said, well, you send it off. I send it off. Somebody else is slow. And I get the country. No, you don't go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Leave you this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, Harris, and good evening to Bradley. Good evening to all of the panelists. My name is Reggie Central calling from Hawaii in Georgia. Yes, I want to appreciate the panelists for the talking point is in regards to the University of Liberia. You know, they long for this thing. I'm a graduate of the University of Liberia, graduate they come to be honest, that whole entire breaking make a lot of students sometimes spend 6, 7, 8 years at the University of Liberia because of the too many breaking. Many faculty will say, oh, you know, when this not happening, we'll have to go to class, and then students will have to demonstrate, push administration, then maybe you will change the president, and yet the situation can be changed. So I think the current president need to pull her foot down, need to stand her ground. The change that she want to effectuate, let it take place, and let them stand by it and be able to make that necessary change so that the University of Liberia can be respected because it's the nation's premier university.
Okay.
A lot of students from other universities want to go to the University of Liberia because of the importance of the University of Liberia. So I think the president needs to stand her ground and let she be able to, you know, make that change so that we can have a better university that we can post up in Africa.
Thank you. We'll leave you. This person is on. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Let's hear you.
Yes, this is John S. Honey Jr. and I call you from Maggie County, Lower Maggie County.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say you know, big thanks this evening for the show. To the issue, honorable, you know, comment. You can be let's a leader then you want to use or turn on another leader. We see reason that these guys, they are all honorable, that came because they said they are traumatized from the CDC in. So these guys, a lot of these guys will want to raise issues that do not even make there's an impact in the country. So you cannot use a war where you are not able to respect there's a president and you use a war. You use a war against the president. It is not, ain't no fair. It is not true. Thank you for the show.
Thank you. We'll leave you, take at least 2 calls, then we call you a day for tonight. 0778 665 699 080 561 644. This person, good evening.
Yeah,
let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm going to play the point one more time.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Harry, the road I'm going to tell you, what was it that we're counselor for? Counselor is I can lecture, man. I like can lecture. So told about me, I need to the counselor. You can come home. More, I let you. Yeah, more. What you bought? You go for one kind of you. We are making what you bought for one kind of man. The election time you'll be on a stage of one country.
Jupor is in school in Rwanda.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Olivia. Our very last call of this person is right here. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Harry.
Go ahead.
I'm Mr. Adrian Kodeto Foster. I want to say a big thanks to panelists. But you see, the panelists, I have laid problem with them. I told her to get a recommendation that the need to find somebody to take it out in there so the person must have to continue the show. But it's like what I told them, so seriously, 2 things we have not called. Very well, I'm disappointed of. Having said that, I want to give my recommendation to Boali. Boali, I love you guys. You guys are vigilant people. But those boys are on the tree, hearing me so and the other guys. You guys try to get those boys and start with 2 people so that they can make your job easier. Because if you get 2 of them, because I was looking at people, the recruiting all of white coming there. You share the boys in your department so they will make your job easier, that you'll be able to show your better work on the media. And you'll not struggle. And the last one is that the labor minister just appointed us seriously. The Uncle man, the other time the man there, and Labor Minister should be giving report on the job like this. Uncle process, but no matter, I'm sure that I know, I'm going to go there, I will go there, I will do for that time, we are not heard anything. Because we are one tree. If any branch has problem, we should work on our branch or it will affect us. And Labor Minister or area to be fighting, they can see you and be able to build some clarity. How many people get job done? They're not talking again. Uncle man said it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, indeed. Thanks so kindly for your concern. We're done with the calls from this end for tonight.
Okay, callers, the numbers on the screen for international callers. Let's hear from you. Let's hear your take. And where you're calling from. The number is posted on the screen now, 774-526-7611. There's a guy that called you very first time. Let me just make sure before somebody calls, if I can call him Red back. Oh, too bad for you, buddy. I can't call you Red back. Caller, you're live.
Okay, good evening to all. This is Estella Manawe Piki Matu McGill.
Okay, Stella, you're live.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to stress a few points here. You know, sometimes some of our own librarians can make us open Pandora container.
Van box, like whole container.
Container, yeah, but we gotta say it so people can know that we know their past. I partly listened to former Senator Sandra Johnson on a Kigali radio, Kigali TV the other night. It's sad because this man that I followed before, when he was senator, he made a lot of young girls stay in the drug addict. That's what he did. A personal friend of my family, that man had a beautiful daughter. She was hanging out with that guy. And she ended up running the street in the slum. That thing hurt her father so much, she couldn't stand until he passed. Those are the character of people who talking about war. But former Senator Johnson, let me tell you, no weapon formed against Liberia will prosper. Every tongue that will rise against Liberia in judgment, that tongue has been condemned. Whether blood author or human being author, it will not work because we just have to move forward as a nation. You can't continue to do that. You can't continue to do that. Your kind of skeleton, your closer, this small have forgotten. No, we have not forgotten. It's just who you are. No free money passing around. No Brazilian hair going around. Everybody working for everything that they earn. No B2 money coming. No free mobile money coming. So everybody got to work earnestly. And like people don't want to work earnestly. There's a boy I follow in Virginia. I call him Brother Sharif. That boy just took his camera and started going in the community trying to show the view of how people need help. And I tell you, that boy is doing a whole lot. People sending him money, sending him stuff. He's employed.
Thank you.
He's employed.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage the young people. You start taking your 2 hours or so to buy a bread and just go back, get out to do nonsense. It will not help you.
Thank you.
No weapon formed against Liberia will prosper. Take it or leave it.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Thank you so much, Walu. And I want to say thank you to the panelists for the splendid liberation. I'm Jerry Tablo. I'm calling from Freetown. I just want to also share some light on what my dear sister Cole said as it relates to the issue of the educational sector, especially in terms of the decentralization process mentioned. I think it's something that we need to consider, seriously. We also need to look in the region to see what works for us and try to see if we can do some adaptation if it's possible. I can give you an example right here next to Cote d'Ivoire. You see, the regionalized it to the point where you go and take your wax, or what we call it baccalaureate, and after which the National Institute are responsible for all of the students taking the baccalaureate. They do it on a fair play basis, not looking at your background, not looking at where you come from. And at the final analysis, they look at your results. And based on that result, they publish your name in a newspaper and they tell you which public university you are going to. So, for example, if you that's the result, and you got very good grades in the sciences. They say, okay, you are going to maybe Dalane, for example, the university that is responsible for science. You are going, if you put in the Liberian case, you are good in the agricultural science or other, they say Telofa. That is what they do. And at the final analysis, you see that in this public university, the students are spread out. They provide for them the dormitory fee. They give them meal 3 times a day, etc., etc. And you are in the public institution and they take care of you. What happens here is that they balance the gap within the society. So you find more people in electricity. Yes, okay, we have done that. We got more students, doing electricity, etc., etc. That is what they do. If we do that, like the example she was giving, maybe you say Nima, University of Liberia, Nima campus, but I enjoy the clarity you made.
Yeah.
It will be regionalized. Yeah. And then we can be able to get our students spread out in these various sectors.
Amen.
And we can skill people from there.
Amen.
You understand?
Amen.
Because everybody now go to the University of Liberia to do political science and public administration. I don't know what they're getting from there. They're supposed to also Capitol Hill. I will say.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. And this is why we tell Liberians, you got to continue to call. Everybody got to put them more in the Liberia business. That our country here. Nothing must not be spoken about if it's going to bring us behind. Let's continue to take some calls here. See, Alice is here. Color your life.
Yeah, Lalu, this is Fokai calling from Iowa.
Okay, your life.
Yeah, Lalu, I just want to commend you guys on the show, especially you for taking your time off. I know how it is.
Yes, sir.
But you take your time off and do your busy schedule to make sure that this show is relayed. There's something I want to say here. We're looking at the historical trend. Let's look at the historical trend of Liberia. When President Topher King, he did all he had to do for Liberia. The progressive got up and said he did not do nothing, and so they used the right riot to make sure that he gets from out of power. And so the trend continued. Today is President Bokai. With all what he's doing, opposition would say he's not doing anything. I just want to tell the life of Mo. These are young people in government today. Mo, Patrick, and the others. Do all you can do. Do your best. We know what you are doing, but do your best. Continue doing your best. Because I know you cannot finish off, but Liberia will be better.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You got another caller here. Color your life, your location, and where you're calling from. Well, your life.
This is Mohamed Kamara calling from Austria, or presently in Italy.
Okay, you're live, brother.
Yeah. You see Mo, are you
Yep.
there? My man, everybody is there. Oh, Mazi Kamara, okay. I just want to say something. I'm a Muslim. What Mr. Sano said, there is nothing against the Muslim people in Liberia. There's nothing, absolutely, no violation in Muslim law. Who violates law? Mr. I don't know what he called, he's a senator or why and why. What I'm going to say is that he left senator, so he fought the Muslim people. But only Mr. Samo did not say it. So I'm returning back to him. Mr. Honey, you are a Catholic and a senator. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you for your info. We're going to take this call and one more call for the night. Jerry, you're always lucky. The people say that Bassa conspiracy, but it is not.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. First of all, brother, let me say happy wedding anniversary.
You
are family man. I know where I'm coming from. Thank you.
Sir. Yes.
You see, my brother, while we were looking in our country, they CEO for spoon. They made that feel within and said, hey, who the man play key role in JFP election?
Even the unborn baby or in the mother stomach knew that the election was JNB. Nobody else to win the election, the vote process. God said in heaven knew that the election was for JNB. But that guy on his show, they made a just made out of statement end of the day. People who are full law members, some of them go but just say that what they know. If you leader, if you part leader, you will know what to say, you will know how to say that. You don't just talk because you feel they're talking. So people say they live with my brother, they both pass through there and get usher. I don't know, let me get to my man Donald Sanders. I know why the people holding Donald Sanders responsible. I brought all the top in front. So y'all need to come and attack me. Those people who voted Joe, we are your bro can take all the country. So let me repeat myself again. If you're Christian, please go to the church. Ask God for forgiveness.
That's
You're
right.
Muslim, go to the mosque, ask your imam, because your bro can take all the country. Christian and Muslim, we have brothers and sisters in the country, so you want to put it outside. No, you need to be careful in our country. Some of us, we get all our people in our country, we just keep somewhere to go do our way also. So your third time we have our country, the owner is improving the country. But brother, it's not a playground. No more accident that happen in the country will ever repeat in our country again. Thank you for the opportunity, my brother.
Chinkawabo, yeah. Speak it back.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Caller, you are the final caller for the night. Your parting statement, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Donald.
Your life.
All right, thank you for having me. My name is Michael Harris, and I come from St. Paul, Minnesota. Thank you so much, all of you, as usual, for committing your time to come here and highlight issues of our country. I'll quickly just let the touch on two things. Number one is days later, I was appointed, I think, at David at the DEA. And we see how she been, people try to put her down, try to denigrate her, especially on a platform like Stanton Waterspoon. I mean, like I said the other time on this platform, I think it's about time that people who feel offended by this kind of character of men like Stanton Waterspoon in his life, I think they should begin to make use of the law. Because you cannot just get it and just start to, drain someone's reputation in the mud without any evidence, or in the name of sensationalism and emotion, or because you're not on the political side of the person. I think this is wrong. He has a platform that people widely listen to, but it just made this kind of allegation without any substantial evidence. For me, if I was related to that lady, Madam Miss Precious Rule, if I'm ready to oppose or connect or some other form of minor, I will encourage her to take a lawsuit against Stanton Waters. Let him prove all of the allegations you're making against the woman. Some people got to take the stand. That's the only way this kind of nonsense will stop in the society, because he does this thing and nobody can take issue with him. So he thinks it's normal to do, and then he just go every even yesterday and just yell. Just yell pointlessly, just denigrate other people. Because for him, he doesn't value character. He already gone down in reputation. His character has gone down, so he think everybody is just like him. So people don't regard their character. So I think that lady should consider seriously taking some action against Stanton legally. And secondly, my thing has to do with these Donald Sanders issues, right? I read a post from Senator DeLong urging Donald Sanders to reach out to Senator Cornyn privately. And well, for me, as I talk to you, I believe that post was AI generated. And the reason I say that because the Senator DeLong that I know to be a reasonable person. For Senator doing a job, responding to someone who tried to be disrespectful to the president I'm trying to work for. And he did a job. Then Senator DeLong comes and say, reach out to him, no matter the political clapping, and you're a younger brother. Look, and I appreciate Senator for not even giving you to that kind of advice. So I would think that, like I said, until it is further established and authenticated otherwise, I believe that our post did not come from the Senator DeLong that I know. I strongly believe that it was AI generated.
Thank you.
It makes no sense to me at all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sean. Then that's the final caller for the night. We want to appreciate all you guys. We're going to come to you. I know Mo's in Liberia. Either Mo or my brother. Statement, my brother.
Yeah, let me go first. I just have to come, or I'll read it. I left from work after 8. Let me say thanks to the callers. We now have Smile FM in Zwedru relaying the show. So two stations in Zwedru, Top FM and Smile FM. Want to close up by saying congratulations to all those who were appointed at the DEA and encourage pressure to take the funny, crazy statements as a strength to succeed at the DEA. Anything at all, I beg you don't be ashamed. Because we sat down here, we praise other people, the Patrick Komazu, the other guy. At the end of the day, it turned out different. So we hope they will succeed. Tonight, I heard they were raiding somewhere right to Dupo Road Junction, the DEA and the police. We've been assured that we will succeed in the drug war. Well, it's not possible to get it out 100%, but at least success could be measured at minimizing it significantly so that it doesn't pose any threat to us. And I watched that video from Grand Crew. If other people don't want to admit it, the people who live in there will see it. And they saw electrical materials entering, I think, Zaitown or Tuzon or wherever, but the people were celebrating that pretty soon they too will have access to electricity. And these are the things that we talked about. These are the things that we promised, and they are happening. In my own rubber sport role, just today, this morning, I was fussing with the Deputy Minister for Administration at Public Works, telling him the road is bad, it's raining, we want to be going to rubber sport. And then few hours later, JMB son sent me the video. Pavifort is making some intervention on that road, at least during this dry season. But one other thing also, usually here they say, oh, we can lay quota in rain season, we can. But how can that company that, I don't know whether it's a Japanese company, but they are putting some form of quota in that place there to that Vatan place, creating an access road in the middle there for them to start working when they lay in quota. So I was asking the guy the money, he said they too have to study what they are doing, what kind of quota they're
Maybe it's
using.
temporary, Mo. Because
It
it's temporary.
is, and the reason I'm talking about it because there are potholes developing at certain places.
Mhm.
And I asked Minister Gideon, he said they can't do anything now because it's reading, but they're laying quota, so they need to go. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you, Dwalu, and good night to everyone.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from you.
Thanks a lot. It was a beautiful evening. I must say, right around my house here.
I mean, your phone not go low. I don't know what you do.
Hello.
You're already again. Go ahead.
Let me see. Okay, I think it's much better now, right?
Yeah, go ahead,
And,
Gene.
and so I must say, right around my area here, they broke the road, they reconstructing the Dakota they're using. I know it raining, it can rain most of the time. But what I want to say here is that I'll close by going to Sandra Johnson. Sandra Johnson making what power do you have since 21 they put that one out of the national legislature? You can't win one legislative seat since they remove you. Now you don't want to be threatening people around you. The man behaved as though he got this political power and political will in Bomi County. You can't win even chieftaincy seat. If they were to have chieftaincy seat election in Bomi County, you want to be threatening people on religious line? These are the people, the crime this guy committed during the war. People that Sandra Johnson, that what they need to fast track the war crime code. If the guy near more those are supposed to be persecuted, they will be persecuted because these guys, the alleged crime that they committed in this country during the wartime, they are not being persecuted. So they set open on radio stations as they talk about war, beating war drum. But when people begin to go to jail and prosecuted for the crimes that are committed allegedly in this country during the war in 1990s and in the 2000s, people that Sandro Johnson will begin to close his mouth. There is nothing that Sandro said that warrant war drum.
Good night. Go. Take it as mama. Consider ma.
How you doing, my brother Abraham? Let's hear from you, Chief.
Yeah, Eduardo. Let me say thank you for the brilliant show. And let me say happy anniversary to you and your darling wife, Mrs. Eduardo. Uh, Eduardo, I just wanted to strike on the issue that has to do with the Liberians in Cambodia once more. I will. I'm appealing to the foreign minister for her to be able to make an inquiry to be able to see what is it that our brothers are facing in Cambodia, and not just one or two people. It is huge numbers of Liberians that have been in their government custody in Cambodia. And these guys, their passport have been taken away from them. Their cell phone were taken away. So they don't have no means of communicating back to their parents. But one of them just sneaked out and were able to make a call. So I am asking the foreign minister, I'm appealing to the foreign minister for her to be able to make an inquiry, for her to be able to know what they say, what their status is like. If any of them want to come back home, so we can try to make sure that they be able to land home safely. With that being said, I'm urging Senator Amara Conan. It is not every post that you have to respond to. You are a state man. If you were a former minister before, now you are a sitting senator. It's not everything that people will say about you that you have to respond to. It's not everything that someone will say about Senator Amara Conan that Senator Amara Conan will go respond to. And then when you start doing these things, it will be back and forth between you and the other person. And I'm urging my friend and brother Daniel Sano for him to be able to cease fire in this manner. I'm appealing to him for him to be able to cease fire as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Ado. Let me be able to say thank you ever so much and see you guys tomorrow when I see you.
Thank you so much, my brother Abraham. It was a pleasure, and we are going to go to Councilor Ma. But before we go to Councilor Ma, I just want to read what Colonel Comey just posted. He said, as a law enforcement officer...
How you can't put my closing thing on the screen? Oh, I know the thing I want
closing thing? But then even better, then you will read it because that's a bit of a closing thing. Go ahead.
Oh, but rather you say... But
go ahead,
anyway, look, look. Let me, my man, music gone, but music. Let me tell you something. When people don't respect their position and themselves, and you bring yourself, that's how you get a response. When people try to denigrate their president or Daniel Sando's boss, and Daniel Sando reacts, he responds the way he's supposed to respond. So for you to tell him to be seizing fire or whatever, and to that caller, yes, it was Senator Dillon who wrote that post, and that post I think was very unfortunate. He cannot, but like friend, those two senators. Remember, every time Senator Dillon can come to the defense of those two senators, but one day we also will get on in. I don't even know. All right, but
bad influence, people. Bad influence, friends.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of influence they got on him, but he just every time the two people they write nice thing, but then by the time they when they're talking about Tanasana a sycophant and hanging on riding on an old aging president, they didn't throw that one there. But by the way, from tomorrow, Patrick Horner wrote some points about the aging president. Every day I will take one. But let me close by saying that to all the women and all the Liberians who have stood by pressures. So now mama, you can eat until the food now you eat come through your nose. Now they've been doing those things, but I think they rub it to the wrong place. And now Liberians are fed up. And like Gina Davis says, nobody running competition on any other platform. So if the people who want to listen, they don't go there. But I'm saying that the women, thanks for not only her, but I encourage and I salute every Liberian woman who stand up tall and show what they have. especially my sister Cole, who, I mean, can really teach me a lot of history and what it does for our country. I congratulate all of you. And let me close now by saying, Dwalu, the police IG. Oh yeah, you just made my day. I swear to God, you made my day. You made my day. You made my day. You know, and this is what Gregory says, and I'll leave it at that. As a law enforcement officer, I expect criminals to speak ill of me. Their insults are not an indictment of my character. They are evidence that the law is disrupting their comfort. I was not appointed to earn the approval of criminals. I was appointed to confront them, dismantle their networks, and uphold the law without fear, favor, or apology. This is the part I like. If criminals are pleased with me, then I'm not doing my job. Let me say that one again.
Simple.
If criminals are pleased with me, then I'm not doing my job. On another note, we are now looking for those who smell the goat when they were cooking it. And when we find you're going. Your dog. I will keep working. I see your thank you, Gregory. You got my admiration today, and congratulations. Says God, thank you, and
thank you,
bro. Well, happy anniversary again, and I wish you, darling wife, all the best.
Yes, thank you so much. The woman on my back right now, honey, I said, give me 2 more minutes.
Yeah, so happy anniversary, Dwalu. I'll let you pick one of the 2 videos. Happy anniversary to you and your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
I had a pleasure of meeting her last year. Hopefully, I'll see her again at this annual event. So Dwalu is a blessed man. His wife is not only beautiful, but extremely intelligent and pleasant to interact with. Don't be scratching your hair. Don't worry about it.
25 years.
Very pleasant to interact with, because normally, you know, I'm not a very social person, but she has such a personality and she's so outgoing that you just drawn to her. So happy anniversary to you, my dear. And today, I wanted to, first of all, before we get into that very quickly, I wanted to say that show me your enemies and I'll tell you who you are. It's easier to judge people by their enemies than it is to judge them by their friends. Anybody can be a pretend friend. There's nobody that pretends to be your enemy. Right? But you show me the people that are like you, that run around slandering you and lying on you and fighting you, I will tell you who you are.
Right.
If you're a decent person and you do everything with sincerity and people fight you, that says more about the people who are fighting you than it does about you.
That's right.
So I love what Gregory Coleman said, because that is absolutely my flaw. There are certain people that when they criticize me, like the tribalistic bigots that come under my posts and spew hatred, I want you to do that. I want you to expose yourself, because that is who you are. I don't want you to applaud me, because if you do, as Coleman said, I'm doing something wrong.
That's right.
I'm here to rattle your demons. I'm not here to appease them. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to rattle your demons and get you vexed. I'm not here to appease them. So when your demons are rattling you over my post, it makes me feel good, because I don't share information that I find and I research and I compile for myself. I do it for the youth that I mentor. I do it for the children. I do it for people because it wasn't done for me. Nobody handed me information. I had to dig for it. I'm fortunate that I have the resources and the ability to do so. So I share, and hopefully it'll spark other people's curiosity so that they can start to question the narratives we were raised on. I call them hate narratives, half truths. It's not that it's a complete lie, it's that they only focus on the negative and then they exaggerate it.
Hey, you know your people.
And blow it out of proportion. We never had any form of democracy. Our people were suffering in their villages. They were enslaved. Social lies. And what that does, when you buy into that narrative, you're inadvertently disrespecting your own ancestors. You're reducing them to victimhood. You're reducing them to a condition that they did not exist in. And what is the benefit of doing that? So you have an excuse to hate? What is the purpose? And you see them so vested. The Congo country. It makes like what are y'all thinking about? So anyway, Dwalo,
I will
I
play
think
both. I will play
the
both.
black
Which
and
one?
white video is the one any one of the two videos you want to play, you play it,
Okay.
and
Let
I
me
would
play the one
talk
first.
about it afterwards. Go ahead.
Okay.
Be informed, be ethical, serve your country. A nation is not built by spectators, it is built by citizens. Citizens who understand that freedom carries responsibility, that liberty demands character, and that a republic survives only when its people choose duty over comfort. So today we remember the examples that came before us. Be a peacemaker like Suakoko, who understood that strength is not always the sword. Sometimes it is the wisdom to prevent the sword from being drawn. Be stoic like Arthur Barclay, steady when the storms came, calm when the nation needed clarity. Be wise like King Momulu, who governed with patience and judgment, knowing wisdom is the compass of a people. Keep your word like King Bosway, because a country cannot stand if the word of his people means nothing. Preserve the land for Africa like King Kita, who understood that land and not merely soil. It is inheritance, it is defending, it is the future of generations yet unborn. Fighting justice like Joseph Jenkins Roberts, who stood against the slave trade and defended the dignity of Africans in a hostile world. Oh, be like William Campbell, who refused to stand silent while human beings were bought and sold. Freedom survives because someone chooses to resist. Be innovative like Daniel Bachawana, a son of recaptured Africans, born in Baltimore, Maryland, who came to Liberia at 9 years old. A boy who worked with the crew boys on ships, learning the craft of shipbuilding with his own hands. When the world tried to choke Liberia with a trade embargo, when powerful nations attempted to isolate a young republic, then you wonder did not surrender. Build ships for economic sovereignty, so Liberia could trade, so Liberia could stand, so Liberia could breathe, so Liberia.
Beautiful, Carl. Beautiful. Plenty of history. Let's hear from you. Take your time.
So that picture and the names of those honorable members of the House of Representatives was taken in 1944. They were all elected in 1943, and they took office in 1944. So that one picture, they said picture worth 1,000 words. That's 1,000 debunking of the lies we were raised on. And instead of them saying, my God, more than half of these people were indigenous people. Don't mind people like Derek's, that indigenous man, a Gribble man, Peabody, Bassa. They have people there that were carrying names that were from different places. We've discussed that on this platform many times. More than half of them
See
were
the caliber of men, though, Cole. See the contrast.
Look, the dignity.
The dignity.
And then you have people coming under the post trying to dehumanize them and say, oh, they were paper tigers. They were. So I told one of them, I said, if your grandfather was a paper tiger, our grandfathers were not. What is this need we have to belittle these giants from our past and reduce them to the foolish narratives we were raised on? Political narratives. The same way people lie on government today to how they lied on government in the past. And sometimes the government was doing bad things and misusing funds. But the role of opposition, so they thought, was to exaggerate and omit the triumphs and the successes.
Look what happens today.
That's what I'm saying. And if we had a progressive movement today, they will be running around. I mean, Stanton Witherspoon is a legacy. When I say progressives, I'm not talking about all the people who were political activists during the era of Tubman and Tolbert. I'm talking about the liars. I'm talking about the greedy hunters who wanted power at any cost. They distorted our history. They were backed by outsiders. They were heavily funded to spread propaganda and division in our country. And look at where it got us. And so when I speak and I not mock, but expose some of them for the wrongs they did, people get so hurt. And they, like I said, I rattle their demons. And they come out in groves. It's like shaking a beehive or shaking a hornet's nest. They all come out buzzing, right? I love it. And let me tell you something else. Those men are grandfathers and great grandfathers of living people.
That's right.
Those men raised families and have a legacy in Liberia. If you erase them, you erase their descendants. They want to have a simplistic narrative that says everybody was living on a reservation or a township like in South Africa. Amandla Wetu, who got our land, of Papa's land. The answer to that question, Dwalu, we got our own land. We are a triumphant people. We have to re-examine our story and the way it's told, and it should be told from a holistic and complete lens, not from a pseudo-political, pseudo-historic, and mostly false narrative that vilifies our country unjustly. There is no country or society or civilization that has ever existed from its inception in a perfect state.
No.
And we are doing a grave injustice to ourselves and our country by constantly evoking bigotry, tribalism, and hate speech against one another. We have to stop it.
That's right.
It's not healthy for Liberia to grow. And the other thing I wanted to mention, somebody said, oh, well, one political party dominated the country for 108 years. Only true party dominated. We never had elections, which is false. Come to my page on Facebook. I explain all of that, why it's false. Tubman only went unopposed for 2 of his elections. He was, in my opinion, in fact, the first dictator of Africa. But his first 3 elections, he was opposed. There were opposition to him. Dido Waletwe, Holder, even Barclay ran against him. But here's the point I'm trying to make, everyone. We have to talk about these things honestly and with actual information. Don't just repeat things you've heard without any validation because it satisfies your need to be a victim. You understand? Don't just do it because it satisfies your need to be a victim. And the other thing I want to do, Dwala, if you have 2 seconds, 3 minutes, you want to share the other one?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let's share the other one. Before you share it, let me just break this down. So these pictures that Dwala is going to show are from the year 1960. My father, for context, was born in 1950. So when these photos were taken, my father would have been the age of the children that you'll see in the photo, 10 years old, around that age, right? Yeah. And people have been taught somehow that being from a village or being from the Central Territory of Liberia or the hinterland, as people called it, was something to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
With some badge of indignity. And I think a lot of this discord is the shame that people have developed around who we are. And the question I always ask is, who taught you to be ashamed of your heritage? I wasn't taught that way. I wasn't raised to think of being from the village as some stain on my humanity. I'm so incredibly proud. In fact, I get my strength and dignity from that background. Mm-hmm. My ethics, my grounding is from that background. And it was say, oh, Carl, you never lived in a village. It doesn't matter. I am the child of people who are from God Clan, Nimba County. It is in my blood. I wasn't adopted. I was raised by my people. They passed on a value system that I hold in high regard, and I respect them. I respect my grandparents and my great-grandparents and my great-great-grandparents. My great-grandmother was a Zoe. She was a woman leopard. This woman would command men when the men bring out their judge, I will say. She could stand among the men. She was one of those women that could stand among the men's society. That is not something that I could ever be ashamed of. That is a point of pride. I come from woman leaders. I am the child, the descendant of great woman leaders. How can I reduce myself to victimhood? My legacy on the soil is more ancient and transcends the Republic. How can I be a victim of the Republic when the same land, when I go Gata, when I go Baisala, the same land that my feet touch the ground, generations of my people before me touched the ground before 1822, that I say I'm a victim, like somebody came and took something from me. We got to think. Liberian people, y'all stop this thing. Stop disrespecting your own grandparents and great-grandparents and reducing them to perpetual victimhood just to satisfy a false narrative, an exaggerated narrative that you were raised on, that we were all raised on. Well, I wasn't personally raised on that narrative. I will tell you that for free. I never heard my father or my mother speak of themselves as victims. Never. So I don't know where all of this thing is coming from. Did you people raise yourselves? What's going on? And I'm not discounting if someone had a personal experience with abuse, but don't project that onto every one of us. Go ahead and play the last video, Dwala. Thank you.
I agree. One of my most fond memories were going to the village. I mean, every single year, if I was not being dropped out in rural Buchanan, Grand Bassa, I was being dropped out in rural Bumming or somewhere in rural Moserado. So it was a great time. Yeah. Let's play.
These are my people. We come from the rainforest, the central province they refer to us as the hinterland, north and central territory of Liberia. We are Poro and Sande people. We're an ancient people. We're a trans-ethnic people. We had trade languages and interactions with people in the region. We participated in the Trans-Sahel trade. We participated in the coastal trade. Our people have been on the same land and controlled that land for longer than human history can record. Nobody displaced us. Nobody put us on reservations. The soil that I stand on when I go to Nimba County today is the same soil my great, 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 great grandfathers would have walked on. These photos are from 1960. These children would have been the age of my father, who would have been 10 years old in 1960. Everything you see here is pride and respect and dignity, not oppression. I think what happens is, somewhere along the line, someone has convinced Liberian people that being from the village, being from the rainforest, in and of itself is oppression. In and of itself, they believe that this represents somehow poverty or something to be pitied. Did they teach us this in school? Were we told that our culture, our way of life was beneath human dignity, and somehow people should have come from abroad and taken us out of that condition and made us more like themselves? What exactly is it that people want? I was taught to respect myself and respect where I came from. I do not see anything here to be ashamed of. Yes, our fathers went to school and they learned how to read and write and speak English impeccably. Yes, They learned about the government structure of Liberia, but they also learned how to hunt like their ancestors. They also went to the Zobush. They also learned what they needed to know to survive in the forest like their ancestors did. And when they were done, they would go back and enter the schoolhouse and learn everything that the people in the city were learning. They had elders. They had their own textiles, their own technology, their own medicine, their own everything. This is Zaza. You see the remnant of the wall? Our ancient towns had defense walls built around them. Those were destroyed by the missionaries because they didn't want us to remember who we were. Somewhere along the line, we have been convinced to be ashamed of who we are and to see ourselves as primitives. But our grandfathers had dignity. They did not see themselves as victims. They were victorious.
Just wonderful. Go. The parting statement.
Yes, our people were not victims, they were victorious. That's why we're here. And I'm not saying that everything was always perfect. There's no place on this planet that everything was always perfect. But there was so much good. And there's so much for us to be proud of. And there's so much that they did to make sure we had something to inherit. That we need to honor their memory with dignity and stop this perpetual bashing of the past and reducing them to some victims that history happened to when they were the makers and the forgers of history. We need to remember the complete story so that we can face our future with dignity and the self-determination that they passed down to us. This is our story, our complete story. It doesn't mean, again, that everything was always perfect, but everything wasn't horrible either. So, Dwalu, happy anniversary. Class, thank you for sticking around for the history component. I don't know how many people are watching, but
about 1,200 people so far left
okay,
behind.
we
But
still
it's
got
pretty good.
1,200 people. Y'all some
Yeah.
diehard people too. Thank you, Dwalu. Happy anniversary. That's all I gotta say.
I want to say thank you to the audience too, man, for wishing me happy anniversary. And more to the lady than myself. You know, we men who can get in hard time. But for the last 25 years, she's stuck by my side, and I always celebrate.
Wait, what? 25 years?
Yeah, 20 years
Wow,
anniversary.
Dwalu.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm a small time Jew there.
That's a big congratulations. Wow.
Yeah. So we've been around for a minute. But you know, when you're showing the pictures, as I'm going through the pictures and I'm looking at it, I'm going, it isn't true we've been victorious, but I guess sometimes because we don't know the history, we don't celebrate that victory. And that's something we have to do more and more. I think I was reading one time somewhere, there was an African proverb out of Eastern Africa. It says something to this effect. The heights at which you're going to grow will be determined based on the depth that you know your history. In other words, if you want fully ascend to the heights that you want to ascend, you got to know where you're coming from. And not just on the surface, it has to be very deep. So we all have to really understand who we are. And I will continue to say to you guys, we are one people. We are not separated by clans or religious grounds. We can have our political bickering. If I say something against Carl, it doesn't mean I hate anybody from in my county. It's just because maybe something Carl will say I don't like it. Me and Carl will have disagreement on this platform, but whenever we do something, for instance, my own Julia Lapuziga, and I said something to Lapu, say, "Oh, do I do hate everybody from Lofa County?" When we do that, we are killing ourselves. How can me here go close the album? Maybe Judah would be born from the back country. Where was them? They have just hate all the Judah from the back country. It is not possible. We can get angry. At the end of the day, Liberia is our common heritage. We have to always surround Liberia, have our disagreements, but we cannot grow, Gina, if we do not understand who we are and wrap our hands around Liberia, despite our disagreements. The little political bickering sometimes it would make sure we become temporary disagreements. For me, I have no enemy. Like I said on social media, especially some of you guys on social media, I want to say that social media, it was a place for you to come and laugh and chill and hang out. It's not serious like that. But I've seen people now on social media to the point where you're taking so serious. You got to pause a person and say your own, I say my own. If my own hair your head, they're not going to hear me. Like when we say, if she rattles your case or rattles your demons, and then you start getting there. Look, listen, hey, you know, for me, nobody can make me on social media. When you talk, I will talk my own. Then when you get better and leave with you.
Yeah, they think I'm level.
So
wrestling men.
Grown wrestling men, they get on my post, you right. Don't get me wrong, I tell them how she said, the other stupid dwaro me by just 2 days stupid. So I just read once a day now she get it for me. I said, Mama, sorry, since you didn't get a proper reach around, she said, I'm gonna tell her what reach around me. I said, no, I'm for me to interpret. You told your own, I told my own. Social media, guys, is about Liberia. Do not like the president, but love Liberia. If he does something good, you don't have to praise it, but recognize that this is good for the country. That's all we are asking. I understand some people politically, you say if Cole succeeds, then maybe Cole would be big government official, then I won't be. No, this is crazy. If Cole's going to succeed, that's a Liberian succeeding. She's going to elevate Liberia. And this thing, we have to push it. If Gina succeeds, Liberia succeeds. And we have to understand this. Politics aside, political parties aside, don't ever think about it. Say this person's success is a denier of my success. No. Don't look at it that way. This person's success will be an extension of your success. It don't have to be you directly. You two can work towards that. And let's continue to celebrate this because they think it's very, very, very important that we wrap our hands around this country and understand where people are coming from. It is important. It is so, so important. And sometimes I pat myself in the back a little bit because I didn't do it as much as I wanted to, but I got to take my case to my village. The navel strings are buried in my village. And they went home and they get to eat plum, even though my daughter abuses it sometimes. When the plum season comes, she want me to buy a plane ticket because the first time she tasted Liberian plum, she's never wanted to eat plum here again from no supermarket. She said the plum here is not real. Her daddy, how can they can ship these plums to America? I said, Mama, when you get B or maybe when your father gets some money, we can start our other industry because if you taste Liberian German plum, you say they say I won't eat no other plum. How are we not exporting this? But look, let's continue to celebrate Liberia, man. Once again, before we go tonight, we are a small country, but we have a massive history. Yeah, thank you so much.
Who are we? The real Wakanda. That is what we are. On shoulders of giants, great kingdom ancestors. King Kandi B.R. Great kingdom Manu. King Mendi Manu. The great kingdom Koya. Stand strong. The great fake kingdom what conquer. The great Poro Federation. Unconquered. Small country. Big history. Small country, big history, the real Wakanda, that is what we are. Oh, Liberia, forever.
Small country,
big history,
small country,
big
history.
Say that, please. Say it.
Samuel Benedict, John and the Lewis, Hillary T, Beverly R. Wilson, Elijah Johnson, J.B. Griffon, John Day, Anthony William Gardner, Amos Herring, Ephraim Titler, Imare. We not small people, though. Just say we full of place. Defenders of our race. We not small people, though. The real Wakanda, Ompa. That is what we are. Liberia,
big history,
forever.
Small
country,
big history,
Liberia,
forever.
Oh,
Liberia.